Hello, welcome to the Football Social, sponsored by Sky Bet. We are live on Soccer M and Football Daily's social platforms right now. Got a great show for you ahead of England's first match of the World Cup against Tunisia. Come on, England. Joining me in the studio, Adam Templeman. How are you, mate?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good. Also joining me, former England international Ryan Mason. Ryan, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, mate.
No worries. And a man wearing a very strange yellow jacket, Chris Hamill, from Euro Football Daily. Do you want to explain the attire, Chris?
No, not really. I just think it looks good. So let's move on.
OK, we will be giving you a watch-along experience of the game, but also we've got Adebayo Akinfenwa attempting to recreate Paul Scholes' famous goal. Why are you laughing? You haven't seen it yet. Paul Scholes' famous goal against Tunisia. Interestingly, that was the last time the two sides met in the World Cup. We've also got Joe Tomlinson, who's behind enemy lines, reporting from a Tunisian bar in London. Robert Pires giving us his World Cup memories. And right now, Gary Neville has sent us this video from before he went to Russia to tell us what goes into his suitcase.
Juvasiest kakoi nibudsus. Privet mnie zawód Gareth. Wygawarajt po angielski. Spasibo eto wykusno. Wow. Last night, here in Manchester before I go to Russia, I'm staying at the hotel because I'm flying early in the morning. I'm looking forward to it. Do you like them? I've got good experiences in Moscow, first ever European trip for United. European Cup final victory there being obviously travelling with the squad. Maya Moyago, Brata Phil. Essentials when I'm going away for me are absolutely my phone charger and my iPad. That's it. Everything else can be bought on site. There's nothing else I need. Passport helps actually if you're going to Russia, I think. Yaploka Gaviaru pa Ruski. There's probably 3 or 4 things that I always do when I travel abroad, in tournaments with England or with United. That's find a good restaurant, first and foremost, absolutely critical. You need to make it feel like you're home for about 3 or 4 weeks, so you need to make sure you find a good restaurant. Next thing is make sure that you know where to do a good fitness session. That's either in the gym in the hotel or a run round somewhere. And then the next thing after that is potentially go and see a few places that you never would have seen before. Juvasiest kakoi nibudsus. I would say France or Argentina is what I've gone for, and I'm going to go with that. I just feel as though Messi will, at some point, light up a tournament and just deliver it. And it could be him, but I'll stick with France, but I've not got much belief in it. My vygrali jego davstat raz. Oh, my Russian is unbelievable.
Go global with Sky Bet.
Great stuff, Gary. France or Argentina he's tipping, Hamill. Would you go along with that?
Not at all. I think we had this debate over on Soccer AM. I don't think France, because I'm not entirely convinced by Deschamps. I still think he doesn't know his best 11 and how his best formation, so to say. Germany, a little bit stale, as we saw last night, but obviously, I think I speak for all of us when I say pretty confident they'll bounce back. I'm still going to go with my original guess, Brazil.
Good guess. Good Russian from Gary there, Ryan. Do you speak any Russian?
Unfortunately not. No,
OK, well done.
Strictly English.
Yeah. And packing when you went to away days, were you a light packer? Did you pack everything with the kitchen sink?
I was very light. Literally a spare pair of boxers, a couple of pairs of socks, my wash bag and some headphones.
Really?
And that was it.
That's it?
Minimalist.
Okay. Minimalistic. OK, the team news is in. We can bring you the starting lineups for England and Tunisia. Here they are on our screen now. Now, Chris Hamill, you are our Tunisian expert.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to come to you when we see the Tunisian team. But first up, this is the England team. Ryan, thoughts on the England team? A lot of your former teammates started for England. So what are your thoughts on Gareth Southgate's first starting 11 for the World Cup? Yeah,
I think it's positive. Me personally, I would have liked to have seen Eric Dyer in the middle of the back three.
Would you? Because, instead of Jordan Henderson?
No, I'd have had Jordan Henderson in midfield and then possibly maybe swapped... put Kyle Walker as a wing-back and took trips out and then moved John Stones over to the right side of that back three because I think at times Eric does it naturally for Spurs. He drops into that back three when the centre-half split, and also he's got the ability to go into midfield and make it a 4 at the back and change your formation mid-game.
OK, we're going to talk more in depth about the England team, but let's have a look at the Tunisian team now. Now, Chris Hamill, you are our European football expert. There's nothing you don't know about the Tunisian team.
Myself to the hill.
Can you give us some great stats about the Tunisian team?
Are you sure
Who are the danger men?
Talk about England? No?
No,
right,
Tunisia is your
well,
game.
I think Wabi Kazri, coming off the back of very decent form over in France, he's one that we've identified, isn't he? 9 goals in 24 appearances in Ligue 1. That's more goals than the likes of Payet, than the likes, other danger men in that division. Hasn't played since April, though. So his fitness is a little bit of a doubt. And I actually like Shkiri in defensive midfield.
How do you pronounce his name?
They're playing a 4-2-3-1, and he's actually a very proficient midfielder. And Tunisia are quite a possession-based side, and they're the highest-ranked African nation at the World Cup, so we shouldn't underestimate them by any means, despite the fact they've never won a World Cup game in the finals. Never.
Interesting. OK, we've got some great incentives through our mates at Sky Bet. Interestingly, if you place £10 worth of bets on the Tunisia versus England match, pre-match, you do get a £5 free bet. Easy for me to say. Minimum odds must be of 1 to 3. This is valid until 7 p.m. Get your bet in before kick-off, and full terms and conditions apply. Also, request a bet. Kane to score a header and England to score a penalty is at 50 to 1. Now, that is available again before kick-off. Odds are subject to change. See skybet.com for the latest odds. You have to be 18 plus, of course. So, Hamill, let's go back to the England team.
On,
what are your thoughts on the England side he started? Chris, any surprises for you? Is that how you'd have started with the England side?
No, not really. I mean, he pretty much dumped the 4-2-3-1 after qualification, didn't he? And we played with this kind of 3-5-1-1 against some very prestigious teams in pre-World Cup friendlies, and it worked pretty well. I like the fluidity, like I said before, of Dele Alli and Jesse Lingard, and playing sort of that 3-5-1-1. It gives our centre-backs more passing options, and what England have struggled with in the past is moving it, transitioning it from defence pretty quickly. And I think in that regard, John Stones is actually crucial. He's one of the few defenders in that side that can really step out of defence, break lines with his passing. He's really brave in possession. And Jordan Henderson, he can drop back. Maybe Dyer would have been a bit more adept at that. But I think I would have gone with exactly the same formation. So there you go. It's a vote of confidence from me for Gareth.
And just quickly, Ryan, your mate Harry Kane, you talk so highly of him. I've interviewed before on the Soccer M podcast. Still available to download, incidentally, on iTunes if you want to listen to that.
Oh, good plug.
You so full of praise about Harry Kane. There's a lot of pressure on him to deliver in this World Cup, isn't there?
Yeah, he thrives on pressure. You know, he comes out, he says it in the media that he wants to score goals, he wants a challenge for everything, and he'll be very keen to get off the mark today. What with his disappointing Euros a couple of seasons ago, he'll want to get a goal early on and give him some confidence. OK, the last time these two sides met was the opening match of World Cup '98. Paul Scholes scored that famous goal for England against Tunisia. How hard is it to recreate? We asked our mate Adebayo Akinfenwa to see if he could have a go. Here's what happened.
What's going on, people? It's your boy Adebayo Akinfenwa, and today I'm at the Soccer AM car park to recreate a classic goal. Paul Scholes' goal against Tunisia in France '98. See, I'm about this life. It's technical because it's Scholes. All right, Smitty, you ready? All right, hold on, let me get situated because it's a whippage. You remember it? Yeah, if you don't remember it, it was passed in, took it behind him, and then whipped it top bins. Akinfenwa can do that. You ready? All right, here we go. No, real bars, man. Harder than that. I need to bring it back. Yes. Oh! Oh! That was close. It worked, but it sounded close. All right, we back. All right, here we go. Back. Whip it. I've got the height. All right, back. Whip it. Oh, that's low. Nice. Back. Scosey, oh! That looked good. Scosey whipping behind. Oi! Oh, snap! That was close. Nice. Whip it. Oh! Back. He's taking back. Oh! Oh! I'm here. Back. Oh! Oh! It looks good though, innit? You know, after I was running back, I was thinking, hold on, why am I going like I've got a time against me? Oh, right side, yeah. Do that again. That was a good pass. I can't even get mad at you. That was a good pass, yeah. Nice. Back there. Whippage. Oh! It looked good. So close yet so far. Here we go. Touch. Back that way. Oh! Out to in. There we go. Back that. Oh, it's a bubble. But that's there. Oh. Okay, so there. Scholes it. He sets it. Then he whips it. Hey, wait a minute. Scholes didn't celebrate like this. Scholes didn't celebrate like this. Oh! Oh!
Ryan, thoughts on Bayo's technique there? What are you saying?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad. I think his commentating was better, though.
Do you? What about the dance? Dance at the end, you having that?
Yeah, it's impressive, yeah.
50. Would you have taken more or less attempts?
I'd like to think less. I'd be confident I could do it in less. But listen, Bayo's a striker who scored plenty of goals in his career, so you've got to appreciate him.
It must be pointed out as well, that was a very, very hot day, and we've got more recreations from Bayo coming up in future shows as well. Right, it's time now to head over to Joe, who is in a packed Tunisian bar. Joe, what have you got for us, mate?
Can't wait for this.
Smithy, we are here in Shepherd's Bush outside Adam's Cafe, the home of Tunisian football in London. We're going to go inside, meet the owners. I think the fans are arriving a little bit later. Come in. So here we are with the owners. We've got Francis and we've got Abdul. Abdul actually was at the '98 World Cup when Tunisia first played England in the group opener there. What was that game like?
It was a fantastic game. They fight everywhere. They hooligan everywhere. But the first game, and Tunisia will be unlucky. I hope this time we'll be lucky.
Yeah, I hope you're not going to be lucky. I'm obviously supporting England. So is Francis. Francis, what are your thoughts on the game tonight? Who do you think is going to win?
I'm a big England supporter tonight. This is the exception. We're gearing up for the fight. I reckon that we'll get a 2-0 win for England.
Oh, I'd love a 2-0 win. Now, Abdul has already said that this could be a fight in this area tonight between these two. If it's the case, who's going to be sleeping on the sofa tonight, Abdul? Is it going to be you or Francis?
Me, as usual.
It's definitely going to be him, as usual. Are there any Tunisian players we should be on the lookout for tonight?
Yeah, we have a few places.
I know you were talking about Wabi Kazri.
Wabi Kazri, Ben Youssef, they're so good. And they have a very young player, new. They're not well done, they're not stars, but they're good. They're good to fight.
It's going to be absolutely jam-packed in here later with both Tunisian and England fans. So come back to me later, probably at half-time, and hopefully England will be 6-0 up.
Hey!
Chris, I've got to come to you, mate. Your mate Joe, we've sent him to the busiest Tunisian bar we could find. There's one Tunisian fan.
Hey, you got a decent answer out the owner. He's done well there. Fair play to him.
Unbelievable. Ryan as well. One of them's on the sofa by the looks of it.
Yeah,
there was no irony, said, was it? It was when he said that, it looked like he would be sleeping on the sofa.
Obviously, man. It always is. So let's not beat around the bush here.
Oh dear. OK, from a Tunisian fan to some Tunisian delicacy. This is what Gary Neville did when he attempted to cook a famous Tunisian dish.
Oh, Jesus.
Relax. What's the worst that could happen?
Your finger could go.
Is there towel anywhere or anything? There we go. It's dirty in my hands.
Hi, I'm Johnny and I'm here today to show Gary Neville some traditional dishes from England's opponents in Russia. First off, it's a dish from Tunisia, which is a great sharing dish, baked eggs with couscous. Turn your pan on hot and add a tablespoon of oil. Add your onion, cumin, garlic and thyme and sweat for a minute. Then add your peppers and sweat for a further minute. Add your tin tomatoes. Cook out for a further 2.5 minutes with a little bit of sugar, salt and pepper. Crack your eggs and bake in the oven, 200 degrees for a minute. So that's how it's done. Let's see how Gary gets on.
Right, so it's just basically an egg baked?
Differently.
Right, show me.
Get your hand like that.
Yeah. Oh, a bit cocky. So if that finger goes missing, I won't laugh, honestly. Hey. Right, let's go.
Take the pan to the food.
I'm obsessed with making sure that onions are not stuck together. I hate it.
Trees?
Oh, I got the trees in. The trees are in. Oh, it's strong, that.
Bit of cumin.
Yeah. It's enough.
Is that enough?
It's
Okay.
enough. It's enough. Don't complicate it with that. Oh, it's feeling really Tunisian,
I can see it. A little bit of salt.
Oh, yeah. Give me that pepper as well.
Yeah.
Don't mess around. Give me that pepper. Let's get some... Loads of it, like.
Put a little bit of sugar in.
Absolute loads of it. Get in there, you. Don't mess around. I'm just going to let that relax.
Yeah. You'll go home tonight and you'll cook this. Have we got enough of this in?
Well, maybe not. No, you can never have too much. You can never have too much. I know.
Come on,
one sec. This is what I'm going to show you. No, you're going all in. You're going.
Absolutely,
It's a
two-footed tackle, this.
Exactly, yeah, we've seen them over the years. So when we're going to make a well, for that yoke to sit proudly, crack it in. Right? I would have done that at the end. I'd have said that at the end.
You're impressed with my head cracking out. Oh, you could hear the shell. Stick it in.
Straight in.
Is there towel anywhere or any? There we go. It's dirty in my hands.
So that's cooking. I want you to chop that. Oh, Jesus.
Relax. What's the worst that could happen?
Your finger could go.
Right, we're on. So we're going for baked egg 2 ways. I didn't like his way, basically.
Right.
Right, here we go.
Parsley.
Oh, you've ruined it.
I've not ruined it.
Ruined it with that crap. Let's get it over there. Sorry, wrong formation. Oh, so you're going to serve it like this,
Literally.
Oh, wow. No, you're not going to do that. That's laziness.
It's not laziness.
Oh.
You would love that.
Stop trying to convince yourself.
I'm not
trying to convince yourself I'd love it. Let me taste it first. Oh, a bit of pat pepper, just see it off. That is unbelievable, that I've done that.
I don't know how you can say you've done that.
It's actually quite nice, though.
Yeah.
Yeah? Tunisia. Well done.
Go global with Sky Bess.
Thank you very much, Gary. Ron, what was your signature dish when you were playing?
Signature dish?
Yeah, what were you cooking?
I asked him that off camera.
That was a good question.
I'm calling you on it.
Now, to be fair, my pre-match would be a bolognese. Night before a game, I'd have a bolognese.
Always a bolognese?
Yeah, I'd say 90% of the time, yeah.
Why is that? Is that just a superstitious thing?
Just carbs. Just it's
carbs.
an easy one. It's just pretty straightforward, isn't it? A bit of meat, some sauce and some pasta.
Do, mate.
Is that what you do, Hamill?
Carb load,
What's your signature dish, Hamill?
Oh, smiley faces, turkey dinosaurs.
Can't beat a bit of turkey dinosaurs. Right, Temps, you are, of course, in Social Corner. We want the viewers to get involved in our show. Tell us what you are looking for and how they can get involved.
Well, I'm looking for good questions, good, clean questions. All you have to do is tweet at Football Daily UK with the hashtag #TheFootballSocial, and I will read them out to these guys. So make them good.
Have you got any for us right now?
Do you want me to get stuck in?
Yeah.
John is asking about Oxlade-Chamberlain. Obviously, he couldn't go to the World Cup. He wants to know whether you think he would get into the starting 11.
Oh, good question.
And if so, where would he fit into this team?
Right, that is a good question, isn't it? Because his form, the Ox's form, the back end of the season was superb. Do you think he'd be starting if he was fit for England?
I think so. I believe so. I think especially if he would have played in a Champions League final as well. I think after Christmas, his form really picked up, and I'd probably say he would have took Jesse Lingard's place in that midfield three.
Really?
Yeah, because I think that's where he played for Liverpool, and he was on good form.
Hamill, you a fan of the Ox?
Yeah, we definitely could have used him. Like you said, his form really picked up towards the tail end of the season, didn't it? Jurgen Klopp was really getting the best out of him. And I think there's a bit of a lack of creativity in the midfield. I don't really class Ali and Lingard as central midfielders. Okay. And the onus is on Jordan Henderson there, isn't it, to provide the service. I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek might come on. He might be asked to supply that creativity, so to say. But Oxlade-Chamberlain definitely would have helped in that area.
Right, the match is about to start. We are moments away from England's first game of the World Cup against Tunisia.
Got on the big screen.
Ryan, you've played one cap for England. Give us an insight into what this is like. Moments before kick-off, being there in part of the England setup. You came on, didn't you? Assisted Andros Townsend.
Yeah,
what is it like being involved in the national setup?
It's the best feeling. It's the best feeling. It really is. This was my favourite moments of being a footballer.
Was it?
The 20 seconds leading up to a game, because you hear the buzz, the atmosphere, and you kind of just think like, this is what I do. This is why I do it.
That's what you dreamed of as a kid.
Yeah, it's everything you dream of, to represent your country. And
is it hard to control your nerves in that environment? The first time you play your country?
I don't think it's nerves. I think it's the adrenaline. I think sometimes the adrenaline can take over, and I think that's why sometimes you see people get a little bit rash and make wrong decisions because of that adrenaline.
And we are underway. The match has kicked off. First 11 seconds. Hamill, how have we started? 11 seconds in.
Tunisian's looking very strong here. Like I said, deploy that 4-2-3-1. They only conceded 4 in qualification.
They're a better team than a lot of people think they are.
Yeah, exactly. And however, their top goal scorer, Msakani, who actually was the top goal scorer in qualification with 3, isn't in the squad. He picks up an injury late in the qualification process, so a lot of the onus is on Khazri. And like I said, he's a central midfielder, he's an attacking midfielder, but very decent record for Rennes last season. It was having around 2.7 shots per game, which is exceptionally high for a central midfielder. So very advanced, and he'll be, you know, the conduit, I imagine, between that midfield and attack.
He's got an amazing vocabulary, this man, hasn't he, Ryan?
Tremendous. Thank you very much.
Amazing stat. I'm going to chuck a stat
at you. Team of poor guys.
I'm going to chuck a stat at you. 248 caps together. That's all that this England team has. The 3 goalies, Ryan, only 12 caps between them. I know that it's great to play players on form, but it's a very, very young England team. Is that a good thing, a bad thing? What are your thoughts on the...
It can work in a good way, for sure, yeah, because it creates fearlessness. You know, these boys... they're not used to that pressure and the expectations of playing for their country. I mean, you see that golden generation that England had, they didn't go far, maybe because...
Why do you think that was?
I think sometimes individuals don't necessarily make a great team.
Right.
I believe this England team should focus on getting the most out of Harry Kane. He's probably the only world-class player we have at this current moment in time, whereas... previous tournaments, you would have said Lampard, Gerrard, John Terry. There was a team full of world-class players. Whereas now, I'd like us to focus on creating chances for Harry, and I'm sure he'll put them away if he gets them.
I think for the first time in a long time as well, England aren't trying to... Hello.
Here we go.
Go on,
first big chance for England. Oh, it's a big chance.
Get it back.
Oh, right, celebrate. Get it. Oh, wow.
Corner.
Talk us through that, Hamill. Talk us through that.
OK, so suicidal defending from Tunisia. Jesse Lingard maybe should have done a little bit better here, but was in a very decent position when the ball comes in. Look at him taking up that space at the back post. Obviously, what Jesse's very good at, finding space. Oh, wow. Maybe takes a little nick off the defender. Good save, that.
And brilliantly, Hamill, we've got the reaction from the Tunisian bar where Joe is, look, this is how they reacted to that chance. So there's more Tunisian fans. It's getting more lively in that pub.
It's fully booked up.
There it is.
Actually, going back to Ryan's point, for the first time in a long time, England aren't forcing anyone into the side, are they?
Corner, which it's another chance for England. Oh, it's a good start, Ryan, this, isn't it?
Yeah,
Positive,
There's no Lampard, Gerrard conundrum in midfielders. There's no Scholes on the left wing. Rooney's not playing in a deep line playmaker position. Like, it's a very cohesive team for the first time in a little while. Like you said, very young, average age of 26.
26 points.
1.
See, I knew that you'd know the exact average age.
Thank you very much.
Ryan, another player you played with, Kyle Walker, playing the right side of the 3. Obviously, his natural position is wing-back. He's had a brilliant season, of course, winning the league in his first season for Man City. But how hard is it? Have you been involved in scenes when formations get changed and he's not playing in the position that he's best suited for? How will he be feeling about that, do you think?
I think he's obviously come out and said that he would have preferred to be playing right back. Yeah. It is tough because, for me, Kyle's best part of his game is physicality and bombing on. He's not the most technical of right backs, even though Pep has improved him a lot. Yeah, I feel like play him to his strength wide and get him bombing up and down that wing.
It's a very exciting start, and I tell you what, England...
Yeah, we are all over.
England are again, Hamill. Talk us through this one, mate.
Brilliant.
Pull back! Yes! Oh, he's missed it! It's a big chance for England. Chris Hamill's gone out of the lighting area. He didn't even see him.
Oh, my God.
He got that excited.
Raheem! And that's what he's been great at.
Sterling should score there. He should score,
arriving late in the box.
Such a good
That's what he's added to his game.
How many of those has he scored for Man City this season, Ryan?
Oh, he scored a hell of a lot.
It's a big chance.
Raheem!
It's a big chance. The ball,
to silence
the lovely pass from Lingard across the way. It's an open goal.
How has he missed
that? A little bit behind him, I suppose.
To be fair to him, it did take a slight deflection on the way through.
The goalkeeper's had enough already.
I don't want to be terribly negative because it's an incredibly great start from England, but that's a big miss, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you want to be taking these chances early on because the confidence it would have given the boys if it would have been 1-0 up after 5 minutes. What a chance that is.
Oh, wow.
I think
for some reason he's gone with his left and not his right.
His left foot's planted, isn't it? And he's just...
I spoke about adrenaline. You did? I honestly believe if that was 10, 15 minutes later, he would have probably been able to control his feet and been better set to finish that.
Sterling, 23 goals for Man City last season. Only 2 internationals. Is it hard taking that form to Man City? Do you think he's finding it a bit hard to carry that form to England?
I mean, it looks like it with Raz. But listen, he's the kind of player that's always in the positions.
Yeah.
Sometimes his finishing isn't as clinical, but he's always there. He'll always get chances, and we've seen it already. He's got in 2 brilliant positions in the first 5 minutes.
Fantastic player as well.
Look at the chaos Lingard's causing already with his movement, and that's why you play him in that midfield too. He's so elusive, isn't he?
And unfortunately for Raheem Sterling, the goalie's taken a little bit of a knock, so they are just using this as a chance to show more and more replays of that miss, which I don't think we're happy with. But the cutaway, Gareth Southgate there must be delighted with this England start. We've only been playing 5.5 minutes. We've had 2 good chances already.
Why is the centre-back taking the goal kick? The free kick? Is this like...
Interesting point. Yeah.
It's the keeper, isn't it?
The goalie's got a slight shoulder injury, so whether that's part of it, Havel.
Maybe the keeper's a little bit...
I think he's just tried to slow the game down there, to be honest. Yeah. First 5 minutes, England have come out on fire, and they're putting them under pressure. I think very clever and sensible from the Tunisian goalkeeper there.
Is that something that you get coached? Do you get coached that
no,
managers?
Well, this is what I've come out and said it quite a lot. I think this is the problem why England haven't had so much success in major tournaments, because that's the kind of thing that other countries are coached.
Game management.
That's part of
it.
I truly believe that. That's something England need to bring into their game, that bit of game management, a bit of nastiness, and sometimes do stuff that isn't as pleasing on the eye. Yeah. OK, Temps, it's come to social corner. I imagine that people are quite excited with the start. What have you got for us?
They are very excited. People cannot believe there's memes flying about this miss.
Already?
But let's not revisit the miss. I can't deal with it. We've got a question to Ryan specifically from Jason. Going back to, obviously, when you played for England, he wants to know what the greatest football atmosphere you've ever played in is.
I've had two. The North London derby when we beat Arsenal 2-1, where Harry scored both goals at the Lane. That was something special.
That the finesse?
That was the header.
Oh, the header, yeah.
The fast-stick header. And then another one, to be fair, I played in West Ham Millwall derby at Upton Park, and that was pretty fierce when I was on loan.
Of the two derbies, what was the sort of texture of the two?
Well, we know.
In terms of fierceness and
which the nasty one.
Being a bit worried, I'd probably say the West Ham Millwall. But listen, the North London derby, Tottenham Arsenal, it was special. It was they were great to play in.
Yeah. Temps, you got a funny GIF as well, I believe, for us?
Apparently so. It's going to come up on the screen in a second. Here it is. England throwing away.
A funny GIF. Look at this. Social media.
This is the best thing about.
At its best.
Get behind the country, people. Come on.
Yeah. This is the best thing about football Twitter, though, isn't it?
And that's referring to the Raheem Sterling miss, I presume. What else people be saying?
That's pretty much it at the moment. But how it's not 1-0, people can't believe, obviously. Yeah. Do you want another question?
We waited 70 minutes for, who was it, Germany to have a shot on target. Maybe it wasn't Germany, another top side, I can't remember. So let's take this as a positive. Yeah. We're creating already.
It's a very open game, isn't it? So this is not how I imagined Tunisia was set up. I thought they'd be like Iceland, making it very against Argentina, were very defensive, made it tough to break down. It's quite an open game, isn't it, Ryan? Are you surprised how the game started?
No, they're very technical. I've seen some of their players play quite a bit, and you can see now they're knocking the ball back comfortably. Yeah. And this is what I expected. I expected them to be very technical and keep the ball away from England as much as possible when they got it.
Other result, Hammer, we watched earlier, Belgium 3-0. Will that be playing on England's minds, do you think? The fact that Belgium have had such a strong start?
No, I think that would have been expected against Panama. I was watching the game up until about 70, 80 minutes, and Panama had a great chance actually to take it to 1-1. So there was defensive frailties, which you kind of also expect in a Martinez system. No, I think that was pretty elementary. But I think maybe, like you said off camera, that Harry Kane might have seen Romelu Lukaku notch a couple goals, and that might be, drive him on. So let's hope it has a positive effect.
Yeah, it's just sort of quieting down a bit. You're dead right, Ryan, about that keeper's seems to be a clever bit of play because he's carrying on.
Who
just calmed the game down a bit, isn't it?
Who was the best at that while you're at Tottenham? Game management. Who was master of the dark arts at Tottenham? I'd say Busquets always springs to mind.
Sergio Ramos plays like that.
Ramos is a pretty clear example, isn't he? So, or were you all purists at Tottenham?
It's quite difficult because obviously the way the gaffer played at Tottenham, it was very 100 miles an hour. Yeah. It was very intense. I have to be honest, Delhi, when Delhi was a young lad, his first season, I was very surprised how acute he was at drawing fouls and sometimes slowing it down, sometimes playing quick. He's a very clever footballer.
And Harry Kane's got a chance. A shot from Harry Kane, just sort of scuffed on. I don't know what the keeper's done there.
Are they still readying the other goalkeeper to come on? Because this guy does not look convincing in the slightest, does it?
First chance for Harry Kane, Ryan. What did you make of that? Good movement.
Yeah, I think the touch just got away from him a little bit. I think
good defending.
If the defender didn't get that block in, I'd fancy Harry from 20 yards out all day long.
What do you think about Ashley
Harry
Young?
Not on corners. That's
a good thing, isn't it? Yeah. Were you surprised when you saw the corners at the Euros?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
What about Ashley Young instead of Rose? Right decision?
I have to be honest, I think it's the right decision on...
Chance! Get it! England scores!
Come on.
England have scored. It's that man, Harry Kane, England's captain. The man that has been so prolific in the Premier League. We've only been playing 10 minutes. The players are going crazy. Tunisia are devastated. Harry Kane scores for England. It is England 1, Tunisia 0. We've started so strongly. It has to be said.
Do we now have more goals than
Meanwhile, this is what happened in the Tunisian bar, Joe. This is how they reacted. Devastation in the Tunisian bar. They do not look happy.
Look at him top right. Looks like a
Joe top right.
I can't see him. Oh, yeah, there he is.
Right, can we just say that... Obviously, we're looking at it from an England point of view here. It's a fantastic goal.
Is that Harry Maguire?
The save is incredible, isn't it, beforehand?
The initial save is brilliant. It reminds me a bit of Siemens against Sheffield United
in the
FA Cup. Yeah, but Harry, right place, right time, proper goal scorer.
Where's that initial header come from? Maguire?
Fantastic. It's just the start. When we asked Ryan before how important Harry Kane is going to be, and we said it off camera that he needs a goal early to settle in. Now that he's scored so early, do you expect him to just take the tournament by storm?
I really do.
You do, yeah.
I think he's got that goal after 10 minutes. He'll be looking at getting 2 or 3 today. I really believe that's the kind of guy he is. He's hungry. He'll want to match the best, and obviously Ronaldo got 3 the other night.
Yeah, Lukaku's got a couple as well.
Yeah, he'll want to keep par with them.
Do you think Harry Kane... Sorry, Hamill.
Go on, mate.
Realistically, Golden Boot, do you think that's in his sights for the World Cup?
It depends how far England go. I think if England get 5 matches in, minimum 5 matches, then for me he'll be very close at the end. Yeah.
Yeah, Hamill, I know you've watched a lot of the World Cup, every game. Golden Boot, who are you saying? Who would you? If you had to pick someone now,
I think if you get 5, that pretty much puts you in contention, doesn't it? And Ronaldo's already on 3, and he still has to play Morocco and Iran, and they were poor in their opening fixture. So I think Ronaldo could essentially have clinched it already. Messi, Neymar, both disappointing. Yeah. Gabriel Jesus, I backed him or Timo Werner at the start of the tournament as well. Both had very disappointing first games, particularly Werner. Germany in general were very poor.
Yes,
and he likes playing off the shoulder, does Werner, and Mexico played up to that. 2 solid banks. So yeah, Ronaldo, I'd say. If Harry Kane can get 2 or 3. I mean, I think Wayne Rooney only got 1, didn't he, in finals across 2 or 3
only 1 England player's ever won the Golden Boot.
Euros, sorry.
Yeah, only 1 England player's ever won the Golden Boot.
So, yeah, let's just get him some, more tournament goals. And
I've got to say, Smithy, I don't think this was game management.
I was going to say,
keeper's coming off in a minute.
Ryan's got this genius game management from the keeper, who's now down again. Look like he's really hurt his shoulder. I don't know whether he re-injured it.
Look at the mullet on this guy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this sub-keeper. Do you think he re-injured it for the save, Ryan? Or he's just was really injured first time around?
I think he was just done. I think he was done initially, yeah, and... Obviously, I think the save he just pulled off for the initial header has probably worsened it.
To be fair, if Hassan goes off now and doesn't play any further part of the World Cup, he's made one of the best saves of the tournament. I mean, it's not a bad start to the World Cup. We never like to see this.
I'm not sure that's what we're thinking.
I do feel for him.
This is not nice, though. He's crying his eyes out. We've seen a couple of players getting injured in the first game. Think of the preparation, how long they've been gearing up for this. That's horrible to see, isn't it?
I mean, he could probably play against Panama and not face a shot, so maybe there is that.
He looks like that serious, though, judging from his reaction on his face. It looks like that is a nasty injury. He looks
15 minutes in, it's devastating, isn't it? But...
Temps, how are people reacting to the goal on social media?
Well, they're reacting in the only way you can react, is that it's coming home, basically.
It's coming home.
We're going to win. We're going to win the World Cup. There you go.
Done.
Other than that, it's just Kane, 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 Kane. Every other word is Kane.
Love that.
Isn't it so nice for someone to deliver?
On the big stage?
To take that, I mean, we're only 15 minutes in, and that could be the only goal he scores, touch wood. But so positive. Tunisia cannot live with the pace England have started at, and fair play just for going at it from the off.
Yeah, the keeper there. So that is confirmation that their keeper has been substituted. Hamill, you're a Tunisian expert here. What do you know about the sub-Tunisian goalkeeper?
Will you stop that, please?
What can you tell me about him?
Hanging me out to dry here. I don't appreciate it. Can't tell you anything about him, mate. I don't think I could even pronounce his name. Although he is number 1, which is odd for a substitute goalkeeper. So, maybe
that's a
close call. Come on, then. It's been very fragmented this opening period, hasn't it? Let's get it sorted.
We have got a little break here. So earlier on, Joe Cole gave us his thoughts on how England would get on in this World Cup. Here's what he had to say.
I think it's the first England squad at a tournament where Gareth's gone in and gone, right, let's look at what we've got and make the system around that, rather than trying to fit all of our best players into a system that doesn't necessarily suit all of them. I think with the pace of Kane, Ali, Lingard, Rashford, you know, Walker, Trippier on the wings, Ashley, I think we look like we're gonna play a solid base and counter-attack. I don't think there'll be a team with as much athleticism as pace as us at the tournament, and I think we're playing the right way. I'm very excited. I think we've got a massive chance of really doing something good here. It's funny, really, being out in America. You know, you talk to the guys in the dressing room, and a lot of them are picking England. A lot of them, you know, so we're sort of, for the first time, we're dampening down our own chances, and the rest of the world are saying, oh, England have got a good team. So, you know, maybe that's the right mix and blend of what we need.
Right, that's interesting what Joe Cole's saying there, isn't it? He's saying that sort of within England, there's not that feeling of that England are going to win it, that high expectation, which can work in their favour. But Joe's still playing in America, and in America, a lot of people think England have got a very good chance. Do you think this team's quite underrated, the England team, in a way?
Potentially, but you look at what we've done in the Euros a couple of seasons ago, it wasn't good at all. I know Gareth's come in since then, and he's changed a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
Listen, every other nation in the world sees England as one of the big boys, and will always want to beat them. I think it's a good thing we've been managing the expectations, because for too long we've been going into tournaments saying that we're going to win it, we've got a real good chance. When
and that works negatively,
realistically,
doesn't it,
we were never really within a shout at times. So, yeah, I mean, it's exciting to see how far the boys can go.
We owe a massive debt of gratitude to Pochettino, to Jurgen Klopp, don't we? Hold on. Here we go.
Another chance.
Cross.
Oh!
No.
That was that trips down the right.
Jordan!
Oh!
Strike.
I tell you what, I'm not. I don't think I'm being too overly enthusiastic, but this is one of the best starts to an England game I've seen in God knows how long.
They just bang up for hell of it.
Two good saves, we had a chance, we got a goal. It's been a brilliant start.
We owe Poch a bit of a debt of gratitude, don't we? How much has he progressed these players, the core of this side, tactically? Obviously, you were part of his setup. You know what he demanded. How on it do you have to be upstairs?
Yeah, there's more to playing for Pochettino than just being a good footballer. You know, you have to live right mentally. You have to be right every single day. And what he's done, and Klopp, Mourinho, all these boys, they've given our English players experience against playing against the big boys. You know, you see Tottenham go and play against Real Madrid in the Bernabeu and at Wembley, beat them as well. Them kind of performances and games, the big games, will definitely hold them in good stead for these major tournaments.
Yeah, stick with players. Dele Alli against Real Madrid, I think that's when, I don't know, I felt like he'd arrived before that, but when you're watching Spurs dismantle Real Madrid, was it 3-1 at Wembley?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was 3-1, I was there, yeah, but I got 3-0 up as well.
He just thought, if they can manage the game like this, please take that into the national setup. And might have worked.
Dele scored 2 that day as well. And Dele had a really good chance as well to make for his hat-trick in that game. In fact, probably the easiest of the 3 chances, but...
yes, Harry.
As I say, England on the attack again. So Southgate, Ryan, what do you make of Southgate, England manager? There's a lot of... Because when he was appointed England manager, I felt like there wasn't that...
apathy.
Yeah, everyone wasn't buzzing with it. But as time's gone on, people seem to be quite respectful of what he's doing. A lot of players I speak to as well who play in the England setup say they respect him a lot because he's been there, he's done that. What have you made of Southgate?
I think he's handled everything perfectly.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's good that England have picked an under-21 manager and promoted him. So you look at half of this squad he's managed in the under-21s, and I'm sure going forward that will continue as well. I think the way he's changed England's style of play, he's got the formation that he wants, and Joe Cole said it in that interview there. He's building a team around a formation rather than trying to slot in top players. He's got his formation, and England now, we know how England play, and this is the way we play, and they're getting better at it.
It's an interesting point you made there. Do you think then, for the last 10 or 15 years, there was always players you sort of felt you had to play, the whole...
For sure.
Lampard, Gerrard debate, Rooney when he was... I mean, for me, Wayne Rooney's one of the greatest players I've ever seen, but towards the end of his career, perhaps there were players more in form than him, but managers had a headache because they felt they had to play them, whereas Southgate's come in and picked players on form, which is probably why Jack Wilshere and Joe Hart haven't been picked, maybe because he's just going with players that are purely in form.
That's what I mean. I think he's got it spot on. He's not been afraid to make big decisions, whereas in the past, a lot of managers and the media would have forced a manager to include a senior member, an experienced player, whereas now the expectations aren't as high. But Gareth said from the outset, you have to be playing well to get in the national team, and that's the way it should be, because it should be the best players on current form playing for your country.
Yeah, for sure.
Temps, over to you, mate. Very excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited you got with the goal. You've got the England shirt on. What are people saying on social media?
Everyone's just excited. Everyone's getting ahead of themselves as usual. That's just what we do.
Good insight, mate.
There you go. There you go. I've got a question here. It's from Jay. Don't forget, leave your questions in the comments. I'm going through them now. So
yeah, tell everyone where you want them to leave the comments.
You can either tweet us or you can just leave them in the comments below on this video on YouTube. But Jay wants to know, who is England's most important player right now?
Right now in this formation, for me, I feel like it's Jordan Henderson.
Do you?
I feel like that role in this formation is massive. If you want to get the best out of Dele Alli, Lingard, Sterling and Kane, I believe the positions that Jordan Henderson takes up are massive for that.
On that note, Ryan, when England play, no disrespect to Tunisia, but better opposition, if they're playing Germany or France in the knockout stages, do you think Southgate will stick with this attacking formation? Because there'll be a hell of a lot for Jordan Henderson to do in a match against France if he's sort of the only DM, won't there?
He should, because you've got 5 defenders on the pitch. So for me, there's no point having 5 defenders and also a defensive centre midfielder, because then you're limiting the chances of getting the good players in possession high up the pitch. I think that's always been the problem with England teams. We've come up against the top nations and we've gone back a step, whereas we should be thinking we're England, we should be positive and get after them.
What's he like to play against, Jordan Henderson?
For me, he's very underrated.
Is he?
Very underrated. Positionally, he's very clever, very sensible. He knows his game, he knows his limits, and that's why I feel this role is made for him, made for an Eric Dyer.
Yeah.
You don't have to get forward much. You just have to be positionally in the right place at the right time to help the team.
Well, chance for Tunisia, corners whipped in. Not a bad corner, Hamill.
Going man for man there, mate. Yeah, just to go back to your question, I think there's less onus on a single player now. You know, Rooney was carrying us in, Euro 2004 and in subsequent tournaments, and this team is now more than the sum of their parts, and that's owing to this system. And if we change, I don't think Gareth Southgate is going to change anything against the bigger side. We have Sam Allardyce leaving and Southgate coming in. That was the genesis of this new England, wasn't it? This is our version of Das Reboot, what the Germans did after we pumped them 5-1 away from home. We are trying to create an England identity, a system throughout the under-17s to under-21s, you know, right through to the first team. And like Ryan said,
hello, chance! Oh, big chance.
Del Boy, no,
Jesse Lingard.
Oh, and he's right.
I mean, England have been so good going forward.
That was a great ball in by.
Hamill, you thought that was going in, didn't you? Because you stopped mid-sentence.
Oh, that's a sitter. I suppose it's on the angle, isn't it? It's on the angle.
Oh, that's a tough one.
Could have done better. Should that have been 2-0? Interesting, we've got a clip now of David Seaman celebrating England's first goal. Here's how he reacted.
Where has this come from?
Where is he?
He's with Joe in the Tunisian bar. Well, definitely worth going to.
Not a fan of that, Hamill?
What? Can't even hear it.
I love seeing that, though. I love seeing how, when England are playing, everyone's watching England. There's nothing else going on.
You got to love him.
It's sort of quieting down a bit, the game now, hasn't it? It's sort of like...
Perfect time for a few audience questions, Sam. What are you saying?
Yes. Right, George wants to know, how much do the England players actually benefit from playing with their club players? Obviously, there's a lot of players in this squad playing for the same team. Is that a big benefit for them, going into a competition like this?
Yeah, I believe so. I think as well the formation. You know, I think most of the top teams nowadays have played 3 at the back, so it's definitely helped the players because they've come into a system and a national side set up where they're used to playing similar for their club.
That 3 at the back makes you more press resistant as well, because people are banging. Well, obviously we say people are banging to pressing now because England were generally late to the game, but if you're being pressed by 2 centre forwards and you have a back 3, it's easier for someone like John Stones to step out, right? And do you think that's it's little idiosyncrasies like that why it's kind of taken over the Premier League? Obviously Conte's 3-4-3, Potter's playing kind of 3-4-3.
It does add a bit of security, yeah. I think quite often when you play 4 at the back, centre-half split anyway, and a defensive centre-mid tends to go and sit and drop in there. And I think sometimes the problem with that is the centre mid doesn't have the mindset of being a defender, whereas you look at Eric Dyer, for example, at Tottenham, he is a centre-half that can play midfield. So when he goes to sit in there, he's comfortable being in that position. And
you think he's underrated?
Eric, I think people rate him. I believe so. I hope so, because I think...
I see him very much as a CDM, though.
Yeah.
So I suppose that you're saying the fact he's so
for me, that's
at centre-back.
Very dangerous.
What you did? Wow. Come on, Kyle.
Not the greatest defending here from England. Tunisia have got a half chance. Sort of cleared, not been cleared. They've still got boys shot in. Oh,
wow. Never. Would Eric Dyer pump that clear early?
You know, going back to Eric, I think he's such an intelligent footballer. You know, I think as a 20-year-old or 21-year-old, he'd played as a centre half, a right back, and a centre mid in the Premier League, and that just goes to show his level of maturity as a player.
Do you think that's important, Ryan, as well for Gareth Southgate, when you're picking players, to have those versatile players in a squad? Like, he's got Phil Jones as well, who can play in multiple positions. Do you think Southgate obviously knows there's 13, 14 players that will be part of his nucleus for the starting 11, but it probably helps him having those versatile players. Like Fabian Delph's another one, isn't there? There's a few that can play in multiple positions.
I think the versatility is a big one, and also for me, the biggest one is the characters.
Right.
You know, because you're away from your friends, your family for 3 or 4 weeks, and if you've got a few bad eggs in that camp, that can really affect the squad and players. But this is what I mean with Gareth. He's been very clever. I think he's got his team selection absolutely spot on, but from the whole squad, actually.
You know, because he's brought down that average age. Do you think that has given people like Harry Kane, has obviously been instated as captain, do you think they've been wanted, their voice now carries more authority in the dressing room, and that's kind of, you know, helped freshen up the side?
Yeah, I think what he's done is create a lot more of a relaxed atmosphere. I mean, you look at the players. Social media, for example, they all seem to be smiling, they all seem to be enjoying going away with their country, whereas we've seen a lot of ex-England internationals in the past saying that sometimes they've not enjoyed the pressure and gone away with major tournaments with their country, when it should be something to celebrate. You know, this is the biggest stage in the world to play for your country at a World Cup, and I think what Gareth's done is made everyone just feel relaxed and to go out there and enjoy it.
Do you think that some of those bigger names carried a bit of a negative buzz with them? Maybe a bit counterintuitive, or maybe just, you know, they were too associated with past failures?
You know, I've seen a lot of interviews, you know, Rio Ferdinand, Lampard, Gerrard, and they've all said that they found it quite hard to go away from club football, you know, that they was always competing against each other, and they didn't like someone else getting success. If they joined up with England and, for example, Lampard had just won the Premier League with Chelsea, there'd be a little bit of regret and pain in Rio Ferdinand's stomach, for example. And to have that away with the national team, that's not healthy.
They said they used to sit in the clubs. They had the Chelsea table, the Man United table, the Liverpool table, didn't they?
I mean, that's not right. And you see with these other countries, you see Mexico score yesterday, and the subs, the physios, everyone's running crazy, and happy. And this is the feeling that I get with this England side. Everyone in that squad wants the team to win.
Did you see Jordan Henderson's pass just then? So when people say that he can only pass sideways, it's complete rubbish. I think he completes the most long balls in the Premier League for a non-goalkeeper. And I do think, a little bit like yourself, that he's underrated as well. And it's easy to get sucked into thinking he's one-dimensional. But if Jurgen Klopp sees it in him, Gareth Southgate sees it in him, then...
Tunisia are not happy here. This referee's giving a free kick and they're not happy.
What's happened?
Let's have another look at the replay. What? It's a clear handball. I don't know what
Absolutely blatant.
He's claiming it's not a handball and he put the ball up in his shirt. I don't know what's
He's
going
done
on
that little, you know,
game management again.
What was that?
So interestingly, obviously England getting off to a good start, should I say. Ham, if you look at England's first game in World Cups, they do tend to struggle. 2-1 against Italy in 2014, drew 1-0 against USA, Rob Green's famous area in 2010. Narrow 1-0 win against Paraguay in 2006, drew 1-0 with Sweden in 2002. 2-0 against Tunisia in World Cup 98. So it's very important for England to win this game, isn't it?
Yeah, and more so because it's a passing of the guard, like we said before. The next goal, it is lazy. Oh, hello. Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire with a chance.
Such a threat from set pieces, but never scores. It's perpetual. But I think if England get the next goal quickly, then they can relax, and we'll see what this team can actually produce when, you know, they're at the creative best. If it goes to 1-1, we might, some old ghosts might reappear. Don't want to be negative, but
how open this game is at the minute. Temps, let's go to social corner. What are people saying, and how can they get in touch again? Do you want to remind people how they can get in touch with us?
Your questions in the comments, or you can tweet us at Football Daily UK with the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. This next question is just for Chris, by the looks of it.
Oh, OK.
Hello.
Going back to what you said in Sunday Vibes a couple of weeks ago, I think.
Oh, no, don't quote me from previous episodes.
It's a good quote.
All right, fair enough.
Obviously, Mexico were your underdogs in Sunday Vibes.
Yeah.
After they beat Germany 1-0, how far do you realistically see Mexico getting in this tournament?
Do you know, I was really impressed with their tactical versatility and the way that they identified Joshua Kimmich, who's just won German Footballer of the Year. They identified him as a weakness, which I thought was really smart, just because of how advanced he is up the pitch so often. But Lozano, Lyon and Chicharito worked so well as a triumvirate. But if Hector Herrera gets injured in central midfield, I do worry about them. He was doing the job of 2 men in there. The only Mexican who was still running after 70 minutes. They were flat out, weren't they? I'd love to see them get past that fabled fifth game, just so people stop talking about that. But I think underestimate them at your peril. They've just beat the reigning champions. If that was England, I'd be a national holiday.
That's answered that question, Temps, isn't it?
There you go.
Any more for us?
Yes, of course. Billy says, who is your player to watch in the tournament? No, that's for all of you.
Player to watch?
Kick us off, then, Smith.
I'm a huge fan of Antoine Griezmann. I know it's an obvious answer, but I just think, especially what he does in that Atletico team, where he's... they've got a lot of very good players, particularly at the back, but a Euro 2016, a year at the last tournament as well, I just think... I think he could play for any team in world football quite comfortably. I just think he is the man to watch for me in the World Cup. Yeah. I also thought Kylian Mbappe would take this tournament by storm as well, because he's got that... Is it a little bit like the younger players, like the Rashfords, like the no fear, the driving that players, fearless mentality. So, but having said that, I was quite disappointed with France.
Yeah, I
was going to ask you. They were very lucky. He's given a penalty. No, can we just say that he's given a penalty? I cannot believe what I'm watching.
Penalty.
Tunisia have been awarded a penalty very quickly. Ryan, he gave that as well, didn't he?
No, it's fine.
He didn't hesitate at all. Yeah,
it's fine. Jordan Pickford's got this. It's time to step up.
Look at this.
Oh, that is soft. That is soft.
So Kyle Walker's just led with the elbow.
Hold on. Do we go to a review? Is it going to be clarified?
This has to go to VAR. This cannot be.
To be fair, Kyle, he's got his eyes on the ball and he's caught...
But the referee's advice...
I don't think
is that a penalty, Ryan?
Yeah, I think he'll go with his original decision, won't he? They won't review it.
With that.
See, this is the thing. England have been so dominant. We can't emphasise how dominant they've been. A sitter from Raheem Sterling that missed, a chance for Lingard. We've had Henderson's chance. Could quite easily be 3-0. We now find ourselves 1-0 up with a penalty to Tunisia.
And that's Walker... That sort of body shape there is something you'd associate, being 10, 15 yards further out, isn't it? He's kind of watching the ball come over him. The centre-back will be square on there. And maybe that's, the kind of chink in our armour at times. But, listen, we've been great. We concede the penalty. Our back is to win 3-1.
But suddenly the whole game changes, doesn't it? Tunisia score this. You think they'll probably be a bit more defensive in their setup, second half?
Possibly. What it does is changes the mindset. Goals can change games and... obviously, if they score, England have been dominant in this first 30 minutes. So
he's 11-4 to miss the penalty.
If you want to get that in now,
you need to be quick.
You've got to be quick.
You need to be very quick.
Right.
Saying that, there is a bit of
hold up here. He's going to miss it.
Come on, Ryan.
He's going to miss it, mate.
And he's taking it. And behind the goal, it is just England fans. England flags everywhere. Wow, fans will be doing everything they can to put the player off.
What do you make of that trim as well, Chris?
Jordan Pickford in goal. It's a huge moment for him now.
Popcorn in the kettle black there, but...
This is a huge moment in the game.
Back in Jordan.
Penalty for Tunisia.
I'd like to see him save it, but I just...
You think it's a goal? Yeah. Hamill, prediction?
No, he's taking too long.
Save.
Jordan's going to save
Come on, Jordan.
Okay, mental if he
steps up, takes the penalty.
Oh! He went the right way.
Chris Hamill's reaction says it all, and here's how the Tunisian bar reacted. A bit disappointed in that reaction, Hamill. I mean, your team's just scored against England. Didn't even get off your chair. Feel for Jordan Pickford. Chris Hamill's reaction said it all, that he dived the right way. You jumped off your seat because you thought he'd saved it. They're just showing a replay now.
Oh, he's come round. The arm's come round.
He's come round. It's contact with the arm on the head.
It's necessary as well.
It goes down very quickly. It's a great penalty. And Pickford gets a hand to it. He gets fingertips to it.
It's fine. Bit of a test of character. It's all good.
And it's in the back of the net. So, Ryan, you must have been in this situation before. You're absolutely dominant. The team has one chance out of nothing, a penalty. They'll be gutted, won't they, England now?
Yeah, of course they'll be gutted, for sure. But listen, England have to be positive. They have to still believe we're better. We played better in the first 30 minutes and just got to carry on doing what we've been doing. And that's a blatant foul, by the way.
Is that not exactly the same incident? Kane's gone up.
That's a trailing arm.
He's been caught with a trailing arm in the head. He's still down and they haven't given the free kick. So there's got to be some consistency there, Hamill.
Did you ever... I know, mate. Did you ever give away a really high-profile penalty?
No, luckily in my whole career I've never given away a penalty.
Half-decent question as well. Yeah. That's not on your Wikipedia page.
Temps, how are people reacting to the goal?
Yeah, I've just done a poll literally just now asking people whether they think it's a penalty. It's obviously I've just gone live, 48 votes. No is the leading answer with 52%.
Also, it's a tight answer.
It's very mixed on Twitter.
100% is. But...
a lot of people are saying, why has Kyle Walker done that? And a lot of other people are saying it's very soft.
I can see why the ref
personally,
did it. I really can.
I can see
the reaction of the player, I think.
Of Kyle?
No, of the Tunisian player.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And now we're finding ourselves now where England have been so dominant. Tunisia on the attack. It's a half chance.
Oh.
Luckily, there's a slip, and Kyle Walker picks the ball up.
And that's
a lovely
see
pass.
Harry Maguire giving the ball away there. That's why John Stones is so crucial to playing out of the back, because he's one of the few defenders who can be entrusted with that.
There must be a corner here. I think that took a slight nick.
You see, this is where we talk about game management. Yeah. We've just conceded, and you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
You know, just get into half time. What 7-8 minutes, 1-1, regroup, and then come out the second half and get back to how you was playing before.
Oh, Gareth Southgate does not look happy. Does not look happy.
Yeah, because he's just seen England execute his vision for England perfectly in the first 20, and then in typical England-like fashion, so come crashing down around us. But
I mean, we are used to this feeling, Chris. Is the only thing we can say.
But should we go on to win this? That would be even more un-England-like, Smithy. So, you know, we can defy expectations even more so.
Temps, coming from you, you've got a tweet for us.
We have a tweet. Reply. No, it's going to be on screen very shortly.
Sorry, Chris. We've got some pressing social media.
Here you go. Basically, this is classic England fans getting carried away after we went 1-0 up. It's a great Photoshop.
Wow.
It's really good.
That is Harry Kane.
It looks a bit silly now, doesn't it? That was when we were 1-0 up.
We do have a tendency to get a bit carried away.
Who is on Photoshop during this game doing that?
I don't know.
Get a grip.
I rate it. I really rate it.
And it just seems that you can see the Tunisian fans behind the goal just look absolutely ecstatic with that. I mean, they'll take one all day long now, wouldn't they, Tunisia?
Oh, yeah, it'd be a massive result for them, yeah.
Free kick has been taken. Kieran Trippier's on it.
Right. Who are we saying next goal scorer?
Maguire, header.
Oh, yeah.
Maguire,
Raheem, I like that. That's a rogue one.
Trips is great at set pieces.
Yeah,
Raheem.
I think his delivery is better with a moving
Raheem's
ball.
going to win it for us.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Back in, Harry.
Is that a penalty? Oh.
Ref.
It's a goal! Oh, it must be! Must be! Oh, my word! Oh, how have we... How have we not scored there?
That's like 3 different situations.
What has happened? Chris, I don't even know what's happened there.
Scrambling isn't real.
Stones has missed the ball,
John
hasn't he?
Stones' left foot, he's missed it. He's miskicked the ball. There's an appeal for a penalty. Chris, talk us through it. Half appeal for penalty from Dele Alli.
Dele? He'd get it on his watch if it's gone over the line, so we know that's not happened. How are we missing that half V? Who was that? Come on.
I mean, incredible. There's a half... It wasn't a penalty, but there's a slight appeal. Dele with the back of his head. They've cleared off the line. We've then missed the chance. This is... I can't get over how open this game is.
They're very tidy on the ball. They move it very quickly. They've clearly identified the flanks as England's weakness. They're definitely working it down this right, aren't they?
Yeah. Here we go. Here's a replay of it, Hamill.
It's not a penalty.
What's the
is that a penalty on Kane?
Off screen, so not on Dele.
It's a blatant
Is
penalty.
that a penalty?
That is
a penalty. Now, Ryan, first World Cup we've ever used VAR. There's been so many penalties in this World Cup as well. VAR has been used to give and to stop giving penalties. Yeah. Why is it not used in that instance?
This is always going to be the problem with VAR. I mean, the inconsistency. Why can't someone sit in there in a room say to the ref that's a penalty? Because it's blatant. Yeah. It's absolutely blatant, and we see in the game. What game was it? The South Korean game, the Sweden penalty. The ref didn't know it was a penalty. Yeah. Someone obviously told him, go and have a look at that. Why can't someone there say to the ref, come and have a look at this? it's a penalty because that's a blatant penalty.
Yeah, it was.
Absolutely blatant.
How would you change it then if you were in charge of VAR? What would you do? You'd have communication the whole time with the referee?
The way the situation was handled in the Sweden game was absolutely spot on for me. Stop the game if you think it's a penalty.
Yeah.
Someone tell him that's a penalty.
Same with the red card incident in, was it the Serbia game? Or I think it was.
Yeah.
Like, perfect use of VAR. But I think he's just there as a sort of second opinion, isn't he? And the ref dictates when to go to and from.
But in that instance, Hamill, to be fair to the ref, it's off the ball. So if the ref hasn't seen it, he can't see it because he's looking at where the ball's going. So it is going to be has to come in that instance.
It's going to be those incidences that bring the ref into undue criticism, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's always, as we thought, VAR would not be used when England need it. You know for a fact that when it goes against us, it will be used.
We won't need it this game, Adam. We're going to win 3-1. Come on. Nothing but positive vibes on the set, please.
So it's 41 minutes gone. England starts so positively. One of the best starts for an England game I've seen in years. Harry Kane with the goal. Then out of nothing, Kyle Walker gives away a penalty. Tunisia equalise. And we're minutes away from the half-time. Cannot believe this game is 1-1. Temps, any further action on social media?
They're going crazy. People just can't believe how it wasn't given. It was basically a rugby tackle on Kane. And saying how typical it is that VAR goes against England.
Exactly what I said. Always the way.
Terrible.
Temps, what would you do with VAR?
Complex, don't we?
What would I do? VAR, it just needs a little bit more work. Obviously, the game does need it because there are decisions that they just completely miss. So the game needs it. I'm all for it. It just needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, there's got to be some consistency to it.
Absolutely.
Another free kick. And it looks like Young was stepping over it.
Trippier's delivery's been great this game.
Trippier is. Ryan, go back to what you were saying there. You've obviously played with Trippier. You think his delivery's better on a moving ball than a set piece?
Yeah, I think he's one of the best crossers in the Premier League at pace. I think some of the assists he's got the past season were absolutely phenomenal. And I think that's why he's playing, because of his end product.
His delivery, which is good again. It's flicked on. It's another half chance for England.
Go on.
Big chance. Oh, it's another chance for England, and it's gone over the bar. Jesse Lingard again. And he looks disappointed, so I think it's a deflection, though.
Yeah. Look,
and again, it's a nice ball from Trips. It's flicked on.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire again. He's getting up in the air a lot. Yeah. And it's off the back. It is not done a lot wrong there, Lingard, to be fair.
Goal bound.
It's a great game. And now Ashley Young is taking this corner for England. Big chance. There won't be many more chances before the half-time break, as Ashley Young prepares to take the corner.
They're looking a bit forlorn there. Come on.
There's a bit of a hold-up here. Interestingly, Hamill, we're talking about the Tunisian sub-keeper who has come on because of the injury early on. He's had more caps for his country than all three of England's goalkeepers in this tournament combined.
I think he's the only player in that Tunisia side to have over 50 caps. And there's a nugget for you.
Is that a worry for you, Hamill, that our combined caps for all three keepers is 12?
No, not...
Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Jack Butland, 12 caps between the three of them in a World Cup. You're not worried about that?
I see the flip side. We've got three great young prospects. Well, I say young, I mean, they're maybe young for goalkeepers. All competing for the #1 jersey. And, I mean, Nick Pope wasn't a candidate for that position 12 months ago, so that's to be expected. Jordan Pickford, first big move, to be expected. Jack Butland, I think, maybe a little bit fortunate to be... Oh, my God.
Big chance, big chance.
Sink him.
Jesse!
Oh, yes.
It's off the post. Oh, another big chance. And it's come once again to Jesse Lingard. Once again, Jesse Lingard with another chance.
I can't believe this.
This is absolutely rattling my nerves.
That pass is incredible. And what a strike. Oh, it's just hit the post. Is that Trips again with the ball?
Go down.
I think Raheem Sterling is spitting with him there. He wants him to square it. But you've got to go for the shot there,
I think he's done the right thing, yeah.
Didn't quite make the connection.
Just watching it, anticipating a bit of contact. Slow-mo.
Wow.
Oh.
It's fine. Look, we're knocking at the door.
He does very well to get a touch here. You think he could go down here, Ryan, with the contact there?
Well, the keeper's come out. I think this is what I mean. Draw the contact. The contact was there to be made.
Yeah.
Dangle your leg, go down and give the referee a decision to
make.
Game
management, again, goes back to what you say.
It's cultures. That's all it is. It's just cultures, different cultures of being brought up in certain ways.
So just to recap what's happened in this game, England 1-0 up. England, Raheem Sterling's missed a half-chance open goal. Jesse Lingard's missed 2. I mean, it could be 4-0 up. Tunisia have had one chance, a penalty. It is 1-0 with a minute to go. And Temps, you've got something for us in Social Corner?
Yes, we have another tweet coming in now, another reactive tweet. This is basically... I mean, that is pretty much
Curtis
what happened,
Davis.
Yeah, but I think as soon as you start pitying yourself, it's game over.
Walker's at a pen.
Just get over it.
And that spear on Kane wasn't. It's a fair point. So 3 minutes injury time has been announced. I mean, it's been, for the neutral watching this, Hamill, it's been an unbelievable first half, hasn't it?
Yeah, plenty of chances. I think we've missed a bit of goal-mouth action in particularly Saturdays and Sundays games. And I think we're seeing the benefit of this. When England go forward, it's almost a 3-3-3-1, isn't it? We're seeing the benefit of playing both Ali and Lingard. They're taking up very positive positions, and I think we should be focusing on that. Like, just by sheer mathematics, one of them's got to go in if we create this level of chances. 3 minutes injury time then.
Yeah, 3 minutes, 2 remaining. Ryan, would you change anything at half-time? Would you keep it as it is?
Yeah, I'd keep it as it is. I think this is... After watching all the group games so far, I believe this is probably one of the best performances I've seen from a team.
Yeah.
You know, very unfortunate it's not 2 or 3-0. We just need to be a bit more clinical, and
definitely.
Then the game would have been over going into half-time. But in terms of overall performance, I think England have been absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic, yeah. Interestingly, Hamill, Tunisia have had 1 shot on target this entire half. That was the penalty. That was the goal.
There has times when we've looked a little bit ragged though, right? You know, a few lucky half clearances, the Tunisians slipping, top right.
Yeah,
here we are, a little bit more, winding it down to half time.
Yeah, but they've not actually created anything, Tunisia. No. And you look at all the other top nations, you know, Brazil, Argentina. I've looked at their games, and their defences look like they've been able to get out big time. I mean, Germany looked so vulnerable. Yeah.
Argentina was shocking, weren't they, defensively? And did you hear Hummels after the game saying that, I've raised this in the camp numerous times, the left-back, I can't remember his name because he's a bit of an outlier, isn't he? But and Kimmich, like, they were leading Hummels to commit, like, you know, for the goal.
He come out and said that.
Yeah, he said it after the game, and so there's a bit of maybe a little bit of unrest there.
Yeah,
when it comes to
he
their
definitely
defensive structure.
looked uncomfortable being in certain positions, didn't he?
I think this is. I mean, this back three is a fairly new ensemble, isn't it? So, and the fact they've been this solid, OK, there's been hairy moments, but this solid is also a huge bonus, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think everything so far has been positive, apart from the end product. You know, we've just not been clinical enough, but they're creating chances, you know. I look at Argentina against Iceland, they didn't create anything. Germany, they had 78% possession yesterday, and it was Mexico, the team that were creating all the chances. So
I think Messi had 11 shots against Iceland, and only 3 were on target.
There is the half-time whistle. So to confirm, as we're all fully aware, somehow, I do not know how, the score at half-time is Tunisia 1, England 1. Tunisia with 1 shot on target, 1 penalty, 1 goal. That's all they'll care about. The fans won't mind how they've done it, but they are somehow equaling England's, who must have had...
A lot of positives to take, Smith. A lot of positives.
Loads of positives.
Who have you been particularly impressed with first half, you guys?
Kane, goal scorer. I was just buzzing for Harry Kane scoring that first goal.
Yeah.
I've actually been impressed with Henderson as well. You pointed him out the first half, proved game. Been very impressed with him.
I think Lingard's been probably our standout player. His movement off the ball's been tremendous. He's been causing them problems, and doing that, he's brought other players into the game as well. Just he needs to take that chance because he's had 2 or 3 really good chances, hasn't he?
If any of them fall to Harry Kane,
that's the thing. You're
hoping he gets wrapped away. But I think then again, do many of the players get in those positions? Those little half spaces they take up. That's Lingard. I'm a massive fan of his, and I'm glad that the Southgate's found a space for him because it'd be easy to exclude him, I think. But
yeah, right. Our friends at Sky Bet, Kane next goal scorer was 5-2. It's now been price boosted to 7-2. So those odds are with Sky Bet. Good odds there for Kane to score the next goal. Surely England are going to score the next goal. I mean, as I say, I cannot believe it is 1-1. Half-time, social media temps. What is going on in your world?
That is his full name, social media temps.
That is, yeah. A lot of people are calling for Vardy to come on.
Really?
No, I don't know whether that's a joke or whether that's real. But, yeah, a lot of people want Vardy to come on.
With a sitting defence? No, thank you.
Apparently so.
No.
But I'll give you a question as well.
OK.
Vardy for who?
Yeah, that's interesting. Who's for who?
Calm down. This is part of the problem.
I don't know. I've tweeted out. I've asked him, and I'll.
Yeah, who do you want to come off for Vardy? Good point.
Mythical Wonder has the next question. He says,
who?
Mythical Wonder.
Mythical Wonder. Wow.
How do you feel about Ashley Young starting over Danny Rose?
I think Ryan covered this, didn't they?
We did talk about.
So do you want to take it as a Tottenham fan?
One thing I will ask Ryan about this is, do you think, because we did cover this pre-match about Ashley Young and Danny Rose, do you think when Danny Rose proves his full fitness in the next few days or weeks that he will become the starting in that position for the rest of the World Cup?
Listen, a fully fit Danny Rose is England's best left-back.
Fine.
For me, for sure. He's proven that over the last 2 or 3 years in the Premier League, but this season he's had a really bad injury and he's found it quite difficult at times. Ben Davies has done well and... listen, Ashley Young's played in the Manchester United side that's finished runners-up in the Premier League, so he deserves to be playing off the back of the last season, and I think it would have been very harsh on Ashley Young if Danny would have started today.
I think it's to his credit that he's even there. He gave a really telling interview, didn't he, to the BBC about the type of year that he's had and the struggles that he's had, and fair play to the lad, very mentally strong to even be participating, so even be in the squad. Yeah, well said, Chris. You've got something else for us in social media corner?
We have another tweet. Flying in.
Flying in?
Flying in, literally. You'll understand the joke when you
Going to give the Tunisian defender the benefit of the doubt and assume he was trying to save Harry Kane from a giant flying insect.
Now that's actually quite a good point. For those, there'll be some people who don't understand that, but there's been a lot of flying insects and bugs. We saw some of the players pre-match using insect repellents. And Ryan, you made a point that your mate Jermaine Genius on his Instagram story made a point yesterday that there's loads of bugs and insects that are causing havoc out in Russia.
Yeah, no, he put out a post on his story yesterday. Just he gave Trips and Danny Rose a little bit of a heads up to say if you're running down the wing, then expect to swallow a few flyers because he said there was just so many. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and we did see pre-match.
Are we going to have to Joe or what? What's going on? No, I'm kidding.
I don't think we are. Any more for us, Temps?
No more tweets, but I can give you another question.
Anyone replying about the Vardy, who they want to come off for Vardy's come on?
So I'll have a little quick look. In the meantime, I'll give you a question while I have a look at that. It's a bit more of a light-hearted question. It's from Michael. What is your favourite football chant ever? Your favourite football chant?
I mean, he's thrown us on the spot there a little bit. Hamill, have you got one off the top of your head?
It depends what sort of mood you're in. Like,
probably clean as well. Don't forget.
If you've had a few drinks, Smithy, let's say.
Yeah.
Vindaloo always goes down well.
Is that a chant? That's not a chant, is it?
Nice and simple.
That's a song, really.
Oh, come on. If you're going to call me on that, then
you're not having that.
I'm not having it. But a chant, go on then. What chant would you go?
I'm going to jump in because I've seen a video recently doing the rounds the last day or two. The Vardy's on fire.
Yes.
With the England fans in the square going absolutely mental.
Yeah.
That's a catchy one, and like I say, if you're in a good mood, that's.
Vardy's on fire was the anthem of Euro. We were at in Euro 2016. Interestingly, they're just showing. I can't get my head around how many chances. They're just showing all the chances now. That is a definite pen on Harry Kane. Big chance for Jesse Lingard. Big chance for Raheem Sterling. It must be so hard for Southgate now to go in there and try. He'll obviously remain positive, but there must be a point in him that's gutted with the fact that it's still 1-1.
Yeah, obviously, off the back of 45 minutes like that, you fully expect to be going in 2-0 up and the game almost over. But unfortunately, a little bit of a mistake has brought Tunisia back into the game. But listen, the boys have to stay positive because this game is there for them to go out and win.
Ryan, you made an interesting point about the start that a lot of the nations have had. If we look at all the big teams that have played, Germany obviously lost to Mexico, of course. Argentina drawing to Iceland. France, I thought France were incredibly lucky to beat Australia. Brazil drawing to Switzerland. Spain drawing to Portugal. This is quite an open World Cup, isn't it? There's no team that I've looked at and thought, wow, that England would really struggle against them.
No, I mean, for me, the Spanish performance. I know they drew against Portugal, but the performance over the 90 minutes was, for me, it was just phenomenal. It was a joy to watch. I think if you took Ronaldo out of the Portugal side, it probably would have been 3-0. Literally. Ronaldo just put in a special performance to get Portugal a point, but...
Well, he was assisting himself, wasn't he? Not only just scored a hat-trick, won the penalty, won the free kick. So it's incredible.
But no, I do agree that the top nations, that golfing difference between the teams, it doesn't look big. You know, you watch Switzerland against Brazil yesterday and it didn't look like a Brazilian team, you know. The difference wasn't huge.
I think what Ronaldo did against Spain was emphasised even further, when you sort of analysed Neymar's performance against Switzerland last night. Both the fulcrums of their side, both the talisman, whatever. But Ronaldo's performance, particularly first half, was winning headers, flick-ons, little passes around the corner, putting his team in these lung-busting runs. And I thought there was just a bit of a petulant streak to Neymar last night, and I think Ronaldo Ronaldo seems very ready mentally.
Very unselfish as well, wasn't he, Ronaldo in that game? When you look at how many
yeah.
chances Messi had, and he never sort of... It's almost like Messi felt he had to score, or same with Neymar. Ronaldo was very unselfish, I thought, in that game.
But I think more so, he's like that for Portugal more so than Real Madrid. I think it goes a little bit under the radar what a team player he is for Portugal. And I think that was what was missing from Neymar's game last night, and that's going to put Ronaldo in good stead, I think. Well,
Chris, you asked about hearing from your mate Joe. We can now cross live to Joe. What is going on in that Tunisian bar, mate?
So it's 1-1 here at Adam's Cafe. Loads of Tunisians about. Was it a penalty?
Come on, there is no doubt at all. It was a clear-cut penalty.
How much have you paid this referee?
Let's talk about that later, not on TV.
Was it a penalty, Jeremy?
Watch this. Malik. Yes. Right, he didn't right? No way. No way was that a penalty. If that was a penalty, then I'm Alf Ramsey.
And England have missed so many chances, Jeremy. Are we going to score in the second half?
Yeah, we're going to get 3 or 4 in the second half. We should be about 4 or 5-1 up, to be honest. But you are not. But we should. But you are not.
We should be 5-1 up.
Shoot doesn't make.
What's the final score going to be, Malik?
I think it's going to be 2-1.
2?
I'm not going to tell you.
Smithy, back to you in the studio, mate.
Chris, Joe looks like he's having a barrel of laughs down there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he is good at putting that across.
Is he? Right.
Very enthusiastic. But no, it looks like it's finally, you know, they're at fever pitch down there, mate.
Temps, what else have you got for us? What are people saying about Vardy? I want to know who... If you think Vardy should come on, fair enough, I'm a big Vardy fan, but you have to tell us who you think should come off and how you change it around. You can't just say Vardy. What are people saying?
A lot of people are saying bring Rashford on, bring Loftus-Cheek on, and a lot of people are saying take off Lingard. There's actually loads of that.
That's mental. But this is the thing when we're saying, like, when Southgate's saying trust the system.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah. Like these little alarmist reactions. What are we doing?
Do you think England fans are a bit guilty of that, Ryan? We expect
by the press.
A goal in the first 5 minutes. We expect change. We're not very patient. Is that a fair criticism?
Listen, it's difficult because I believe the English fans are the best in the world.
Yeah.
The following that they have, all the England fans want is literally to make them feel proud, to watch the team and see the players being proud to play for the country. Yeah. And I'm sure
but they're doing that.
England fans at half-time now surely will be thinking they're happy with that because England have been absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually. Covering Euro 2016, England fans were absolutely incredible. And the amount of fans that England take to major tournaments is just amazing. So hopefully stick with the team and we will score early on in the second half. Right, we can catch up with Robert Pires. We filmed a feature with Robert Pires about his favourite World Cup memories. Here's what he had to say.
But the best, I think, is when I see Didier Deschamps lift the World Cup, because this moment it was outstanding moment for the players, for the country, for all the fans. They love France. So yes, I think this is my best memory. I think when I was young, when I grew up, because I grew up with football, Maradona was an amazing player, because everybody knows Diego Maradona. But I think on this time Maradona in Argentina was the best in the world. So yeah, when I watch Maradona, I said to my dad, I want to be like him. And he said, I think it's impossible because we talk about Maradona. And I said, okay, I will try. It was a very difficult World Cup in 2002 because Zidane was injured, myself injured. So I think we arrived to more confidence. Yeah, so that's why we lost all the games. And sometimes, when you have like this, it's very important to prepare the future. But I think it was like 2002. I think it was like an accident for France. Yes.
What a player Bobby Pires was. Always scored against Spurs as well, frustratingly for me as a Spurs fan. Obviously, what his favourite memory was, winning the World Cup. His idol there, Maradona. Hamill, who was your idol growing up? Was there one person?
Just what in the World Cup? Are we keeping this World Cup specific, or is it just football
World
in
Cup
general?
related? Yeah.
I mean, since I started watching England in earnest, it's been a gradual, decline, hasn't it? From kind of 2002. The team I fell in love with, and who made me fall in love with football in 2002, was Ronaldo, R9's Brazil. Yeah. With that forward trio of Ronaldo, Ronaldinho and Rivaldo. And England had a very good team in that tournament, and that 2-1 to Brazil was one of the first games that I can properly remember.
Did Ronaldinho mean that goal?
I mean, if one person is going to mean it, it probably would be Ronnie. But I like the fact that that's just, that's part of the myth, isn't it? That's part of that World Cup winning campaign. Here he is. Talking myths. But I'd say, OK, so maybe R9 for me. It's not going to be an English player, is it?
OK, Ryan Snipsaloo. We were just speaking to Robert Pires there.
Bobs.
Maradona, his idol. Who's your World Cup idol growing up?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough one to come straight from the box.
It'll have to be Zidane.
Zidane,
the performance against Brazil in the semi-final of the World Cup. I can't remember what year it was.
Final?
They won it.
It was the semi. They lost when he done a dinker against Italy in the final. When he got sent off.
When he got sent off. Sorry.
But that World Cup,
2006.
that was his last.
The headbutt.
Yeah,
Materazzi.
That World Cup, he was just.
One of the most iconic moments as well. Him walking past the trophy at the end.
The thing about Zidane, he was just such a big game player as well. Like I've watched a few La Liga matches back of his time at Real Madrid, and sometimes he went missing. But then, like for France, it was just he just went up a gear. He was just different gravy.
His record as a manager is incredible as well. Are you surprised that he stepped down from managing Real Madrid, having won the Champions League? It's a strange one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, I am a little bit, to a certain extent, but I think he's been very clever in what he's done. He's gone out there on the absolute top. You know, in my eyes, no one will ever defend the Champions League trophy 3 years in a row.
That's incredible.
That's just outrageous.
He's only the third manager to do so ever.
Yeah, in this era, I mean, the level of competition now is just. Yeah. But that's crazy. And
this actually segues nicely into a conversation we were having off screen, doesn't it, about Lopetegui and him leaving Spain, and how that was the sort of story before the World Cup booted off, walking down Oxford Circus, seeing signs, not about, detrimental signs about England's World Cup campaign, but it was like Spain in disarray, and you're just like, hold on, like, what has happened?
That was crazy, that, wasn't it?
And obviously he's gone to Real Madrid to replace Zidane, hasn't he, Lopetegui, on a 3-year contract, but it was mental. Why didn't they just wait?
It's just the thing for me for that is that surely that's going to disorganise the team, right? Have you ever happened to you in your playing days where you've been told the day before a game that the manager's leaving, or the players have known and the fans haven't? Any situations like that you've experienced?
Yeah, I've been at clubs where a manager's just been sacked like that, and then you've got a game the next day. I think at club level it's a lot easier to deal with. The Spanish team are going into World Cup, so I mean the whole craziness of the situation, it might affect them, but having watched them against Portugal, I don't think it will. I think the Spanish have got it absolutely spot on. In my eyes, to manage your country should be the pinnacle, and for you to agree to go to another club, in my eyes, it's a disrespect to the Spanish national team, and I think them getting rid of him straight away was the best thing to do.
They're safeguarding what they've built over the last 20 years, aren't they? That's what I got. Like, when people were saying it's crazy, why didn't, Van Gaal did it, Conte did it, it's not going to affect them. And Rubiales, who's the Spanish president of the FA, apparently he's a bit of a brash character, and they think he might have reacted emotionally. The game's kicked back off.
The game has kicked back off. Second half is underway.
I agree with Ryan. I think it was the right decision, and Fernando Hierro could be a bit of an inspired decision.
I mean, great for him, though, Hamill. I mean, he must be absolutely delighted with that.
What an opportunity.
Unbelievable opportunity. Interestingly, we were talking about it before the game kicked off, before the first half kicked off. Before the second half, all of the England players they cut away to were waving flies and bugs. I know we laughed about it, but this is a bit of an issue. If you're playing football on the highest stage, it's not ideal,
Smithy,
is it?
100%. I went and played a twilight round of golf the other day. I only played I played 9 holes, and the first hole was a par 5 along the river.
Okay. I mean, a lot of detail here to be considered. How'd you get on?
There were so many flies in my eyes. It was ridiculous. The first hole was a write-off, Right. The second I got my swing back.
What are you playing off?
At the moment, I'm playing off 16. I've just started since
decent.
since I've retired. I've started getting back on the course, and hopefully I can chop a few off that.
Why is golf always like a footballer's second sport?
I think because physically you don't have to put nothing into it. You know, if you get a buggy, all you have to do is...
You're mad. My shoulder's popping out at the end of every session. Clearly just got the wrong tactics. But, so it's just because it's a good thing to wind down.
Yeah, and sometimes you finish training at 1:30, 2 o'clock, and if you've got a day off or something, it's nice to go and use up 4 or 5 hours,
Who's the best golfer, footballer golfer, so the best footballer that you've played with who's best at golf? I mean, it's a hard question to ask that. What I'm trying to say is, of all the teammates you've played with,
we know what you're trying
who's
to
the best
say.
at golf?
Smith, you've asked it 3 times now.
It'll have to be Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He's almost as obsessed with golf. I mean, not to
he?
the level
Well, not
of
as
football,
football.
but he's got a simulator in his house, and he plays off, I think he plays off 4, but there's been...
Hang on a minute. Whoa. Rewind. He's got a golf simulator in his house?
Yes, yeah.
Wow. I think Gareth Bale was unreal.
Oh, Gaz, yeah, I mean...
He's got a par 3 in his back garden.
I played with Gaz. Gaz picked up a golf club, and we played a week after, and he was driving the ball over 300 yards.
Really?
I mean, his chipping, his
every
iron
one of
pace
his
putting
limbs
was
is
awful,
just
but
ultra powerful.
he was just he was just one of those guys, and Harry's pretty similar. You pick up a club, you pick up a table tennis racket or whatever, and you just have a knack for it. And
you said to me something very interesting as well last month when I interviewed last time, that Harry Kane's got this thought process where if he puts his mind to something, he will become the best at it. That you almost think he's into his NFL as well. That if he wanted to become a kicker after he finished from football, you could genuinely believe that he could achieve that because of his mindset.
Because he genuinely believes it. You know, I think when Harry does retire, hopefully it'll be a very long time, but I'm sure he'll be thinking he'll be a scratch golfer. Could potentially play in a Super Bowl, something like that, because that's just the way he thinks. I'm not sure he'd go and play golf if he played off 16 or 18.
Yeah, wow.
To be honest.
Wow. What a player. Any social questions, Temps, that you got for us?
I've got a cup of tea for you.
Thank you very much, Temps. I appreciate that.
All down.
Cheers to you. Hope you're still enjoying the watch.
Where'd you magic that from?
Get your comments
I made it
coming.
when you were asking a question.
What have you got? Take as long as you want here, because I'm going to have a nice sip of this tea.
Holding says, with other big teams getting off to a slow start, are you more hopeful about England's chances?
Yeah, we've touched upon this, haven't we? And I think, yeah, apart from the Spain and Portugal game, no top side has really hit the ground running. And I think if England go through, right, if we look at the tree, it's Colombia or Poland, isn't it? Based on
the next game
where we come. Yeah, if we were to, you know, hopefully we will. We should do. If we escape the group, and I think that's quite favourable. And I just think we can dispatch a side like that and find our, our way to the last 8 pretty quickly. So, I mean, let's just take it. You hear all the top managers, top players, very single-minded, aren't they? Take it one game at a time. It's a bit of a boring answer, but emotionally, I'm spent already after 45. I don't want to think about.
You are, aren't you? You almost gave that answer and then started watching the game and forgot where you were going with that.
Bit exasperated, mate, to be honest. But right, oh, lovely little turn there.
Any more for us, Temps?
Yes, don't forget, comment in the chat below, and I will be reading out all of your questions. You can also tweet me if you want, at FootballDailyUK, using the hashtag #TheFootballSocial. Hendo has our next question. He says, based on the players' performances so far, which player do you think deserves a big money move in the summer?
Hendo, what did he tweet that at half-time?
What? Or was it Andrew Henderson?
Tough question, that, because they might all be happy where they are.
Yeah, they're all at big clubs, aren't they, to be honest.
Who have we tied?
Oh, hello, England on the attack here.
Go on then, Raheem. Good turn of pace there.
Lovely turn of pace from Raheem.
No.
As he's dispossessed.
Bit of a disconnect at the
Wow, that is a heavy back pass to the sub-keeper.
There's not been...
He's done all right.
There's not been too much link-up play with Harry Kane and sort of Dele Alli and Raheem Sterling, has there, at the minute? A little bit of kind of missing these 5 or 10-yard passes. Not a lot of intricate build-up play that maybe you see with Willian and Jesus and Coutinho. Is that something you think we have to work on, or...?
I think it seems like England's way of playing at the moment is obviously having the back three and Jordan Henderson trying to build up, and then when it's working for them, you know, they have their 2 fullbacks really high, Dele, Jesse Lingard making forward runs beyond Harry, so it's almost playing in 2 different sides, you know, a back 4, back 5, and then a forward front 4, front 5. And I think sometimes when we're out of possession, the players come back to get in a defensive shape, and then that distance, like you say, up to Harry can get quite big. And that's always been my fear and my worry of playing this 3 at the back, that it can quite easily turn into a 5.
Is that another penalty? Sorry, Ryan, to interrupt you there. It's the same incident as the first half. It's a rugby tackle on Harry Kane.
That is embarrassing. I've just seen the replay. That's absolutely embarrassing.
Has the ref just insinuated that was a dive as well by doing that?
But my point is here, why is he not using VAR? If the ref doesn't know, in fairness to the ref, if he doesn't know, understand it's off the ball again. Go to VAR. Surely that's what it's there for.
Right. Maybe the Russians don't want the English to go far in the competition. I don't know.
He went there. He went there. Conspiracy theories. I like it.
But it's crazy. That's exactly the same thing that happened in the first half on exactly the same player in the box. The ref has, in neither instance, used VAR. Bearing in mind Tunisia have scored from a penalty, you'd think it'd at least go to VAR with that. I just can't get my head around that.
Or at least after the first incident, have your eyes on Harry Kane for the second one.
See, this is where I don't know what happened in the tunnel, in the dressing rooms or whatever, but this is where the England management, the staff, should have been putting pressure on the referee at half-time.
He's off.
They should have been going in there going absolutely mental, and that's a blatant penalty. So then, what are we, 6 minutes into the second half? The first time it happens, if they did put pressure on him, maybe then he'd be like, oh, I missed one in the first half.
It's like Sergio Ramos, isn't it, in the Champions League final? It's players like that do... It's game management.
If everyone was like Sergio Ramos, then it'd be a much worse...
but it's another incident that's gone against England, Hamilton.
I'm not asking England to cheat. I'm just asking England to be a bit more nasty, you know?
Savvy.
Be winners, you know? Ramos comes to mind all the time, but... He's a serial winner. He does not care what it takes to win.
To miss one of them, forgivable, but to not be watching Harry Kane for the next set-piece situation...
But even if you don't know, Chris, he's got to go to VAR, surely. It's a lovely turn, dispossessed.
Switch, spread that. Ashley Young.
Little chance here.
That's poor Young.
And again, it's a game that England are absolutely dominating, but find themselves 1-1. Every decision going against England. The penalty for Tunisia went against England. 2 VAR decisions not being used. England with 2 big penalty shouts, and they've missed some big chances as well. But at the minute, Belgian fans will be loving this, Chris, won't they? They'll be loving it.
What we don't want is for VAR to dominate the conversation in the England game too. It's quite frankly, it's boring, isn't it? It's relevant, but it's boring. We need these England players to sort of rise above these inconsistencies, show they're the better team by just smashing this Tunisian side second half. I think we were blowing their trumpet a little bit too much beforehand. They're not offered an awful lot going forward. They're far more defensively orientated than I thought they'd be, and they are playing for the draw now, which may favour England in the next half an hour.
Quick chat on Belgium, Ryan. So Harry Kane's got a slight chance here, and it's just been dispossessed. A quick one on Belgium. Saw them play earlier, 3-0. Are they? Where do you think they sit? They sit favourites for the group. Do England sit favourites? What are your thoughts on Belgium?
I think it is a 50-50. You know, you would fully expect England and Belgium to beat Tunisia and Panama, and then it would go down to the final game. But obviously they've knocked 3 past Panama today, so at the moment they are in the driving seat.
And like you said earlier, fans of other nations watching this, because let's be honest, the World Cup fever's hit us all. There'll be fans from all over the world watching this. Right. Having seen some of the other teams sort of flatter to deceive, if you like, there must be a lot of fans out there looking at England going, cool, England are one of the teams to beat.
I think they'll be fearful, for sure. I think part of them will think they can get at the back 3, back 5, but at the same time, they will be thinking that England have pace and they have a world-class goal scorer that can cause them problems. That's
a very good point. I was just about to mention that. We've lacked this much pace for a little while now, since maybe Theo. Last time I can remember someone destroying international opposition with pace was Theo Walcott against Croatia when we won 4-1 away from home, was it? Potentially a World Cup qualifier, might have been 3-1, can't really remember, but now we have, Lingard.
I mean, sorry to interrupt. You look at the Mexican team yesterday and how much trouble they caused Germany
down at left-hand
with
side.
Pace.
Yeah, man.
I mean, a lot of the top nations now try and play higher up the pitch and give you space in behind, and that's where I do believe England will probably be better against the better nations because they play a braver way. And they do allow you to have a lot more space in behind.
It's interesting you said that, actually, because when we were in France, we spoke to Martin Sardan. He made exactly that point. When England were coming up against Iceland, these teams that sort of sat back, he actually said, I would love to see this England team play against France, because the winners of the England-Iceland game were due to play France. Obviously, everyone thought England would advance. He said that those teams that attack us would actually sort of play into that England's hands more. It's sometimes very difficult to play against these teams that sit back, and as Argentina found out against Iceland.
But it's great now that Ali is almost a second striker at club level, and Lingard has that skill set because we have more players that are better at breaking down these various systems. Like Wilshere, okay, he's good at build-up play. He can set the tempo at times, but he doesn't have that, and someone like Lingard does. And maybe if we go for it in the last. I think I'd maybe rather bring on Welbeck than Vardy.
Would you?
Yeah, just because he's good at pressing. Like his
goal scoring record for England is actually very good.
More of a physical presence up there. Scorer of an awful. Oh, lovely
ball there from Harry Kane. Jordan Henderson, great ball. Oh,
take that down. Yeah, well, just someone to keep pressing relentlessly, and he does do that.
He is the top scorer. Well, Danny Welbeck is the top scorer of all the England players in the squad. Yeah. He's got a good record in international football, which brings me on to another point I wanted to make to you, Hamil, is that these players have had great goal-scoring form for their club. Dele Alli, Raheem Sterling, Jesse Lingard don't have the best goal-scoring record for England. Is that a concern for you?
No, because I mean they're all still the right age. They profile well, don't they? Danny Welbeck's got what the 16 goals. Yeah. Thank you for clarifying, mate. Because he's 27, isn't he? He's 28 and he's been around for a while. Yeah. But I mean, he has been picked by 4 different managers now, so obviously has qualities that are widely admired in the English setup. And you've got, I think we have weapons on the bench now, don't we? And we've also lacked that. Imagine bringing Rashford. Like, how many international setups can bring players like Rashford on when you're chasing a game, or you need to open someone up? So I think the depth is bodes really well, and bringing down the average age of the squad, you've got to expect people to have less caps. And
yeah, interesting you mentioned about Welbeck, 16 goals. Raheem Sterling, 39 games for England, 2 goals. It's an area of his game that he'd want to improve, certainly, wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, for me personally, you're in a World Cup and the maximum games you can have is 7. Yeah. And if you have a striker in Harry Kane who scores 5 goals, then you only really need 1 or 2 to chip in with 1 or 2, a defender to score. So I think the main focus should be on getting Harry chances. Raheem Sterling, Dele Alli, Lingard, they are there to create space for Harry.
Which they're all doing very well tonight.
Yeah, they are, because Harry's the most clinical player in this England side, and you give Harry 3 or 4 chances in a game and for sure he's scoring a goal.
And again, it is all England's. We get into the 58th minute of this game.
This is the link-up play that's been lacking a little bit. This is nice. This is nice stuff. Look out.
Defenders everywhere. It is still 1-0, and it's suddenly getting to that point where there's half an hour to go in this game. Second half will probably go quite quickly. This is the time, Ryan, I know that we're playing very well, that half an hour to go. He must be starting thinking about substitution now.
Yeah, as managers, usually that 60 to 70 mark is the time that they do make the first sub. But England, at the moment, they're dominating possession. They're not really creating too much in terms of chances, but you've just got to stay patient. And if someone does come on, then you've got to hope that they have a spark and make something happen.
And the things you said about... Oh, hello.
Lovely ball.
The things you said about sort of sticking with your system and trusting your system, trusting the process. Yeah. I don't think he's going to be one that makes these reactions.
He was very big on that, wasn't he? In Gareth Southgate's press conference, he mentioned keeping the belief, keeping the faith, keeping the system. It was very much talking about how England needs to be patient. In situations exactly like this, actually, it's almost like he had a magic wand. He was envisaging that we would be drawing the game after 60 minutes because... He said, keep the faith. He kept getting that message across.
I'll be honest, this is...
Ball!
I think I said it before the game about... I would have liked to have seen Eric Dyer as that central back three player, because times like this, when you've got teams that do sit, that would have allowed England to push Eric Dyer into a defensive centre-mid position, and then Henderson maybe to go further up the pitch to create more numbers higher up, because we don't need 3 centre-halves at the back at this moment in time, because Tunisia have got 10 players behind the ball. So
do you think he'll change that then, with that said?
I don't know.
Ryan,
maybe he will say to Stones to step into the game a little bit more.
But what would Poch do?
Well, that's something Poch would do, We're seeing it when Tottenham are chasing games or dominating. Spurs have that flexibility to go from 3 at the back to a 4 at the back, 5 at the back. Yeah. It's just about being able to adapt. But having said that, Poch is allowed to work on the Tottenham squad every single day.
What's a ball? That is. Oh.
It's difficult when you're at international
so
level.
You kind of have less plan Bs, Cs.
Yeah, but the fact you have got Eric Dyer, someone who's used to doing that for his club, it's a lot easier to...
It's interesting you say something like that as opposed to the obvious, bringing on a Rashford, bringing on a Vardy. So it'd be a kind of, you think maybe a change of system rather than attacking personnel at this point, maybe?
Yeah,
the next 10 minutes?
I don't necessarily believe that 2 strikers at this moment in time is going to make much of a difference. Like I said, we don't need 3 centre-halves behind the ball when they've got maybe 1 striker up the pitch.
Yeah.
Maybe leave 2 at the back to mark him and then push 1 higher up the pitch. But John Stones isn't... I know he can play a bit, but he's not the kind of player that can see a pass, whereas we've seen Eric Dyer this season, for example, the goal Dele Alli against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, that pass that he made, a 40, 50-yard ball, he's got that in his locker.
Yeah, he's got the diagonal, hasn't he?
Whereas I've not really seen that with John Stones, so...
No, John Stones is a little bit more of a metronome, isn't he? Just...
Yeah, he's a Cruyffer, he's sort of 10, 15-yard pass player.
I think the goal's coming. Next 10 minutes, I really do.
Next 10 minutes is the prediction. Temps, what have you got for social media? What are people saying?
Yeah, going back to what you're saying about substitutions, a lot of people want to see Rashford come on. I'm seeing a lot of that. People hashtag where is Rashford? Might be trending, so you never know. But
brilliant at Ellen Road, by the way.
I've got a question from FD's fan of the year, Swagato. Do you think players like Jack Wilshere and Shelvey were unlucky not to get into the side?
No. In my opinion, I think...
No?
I think that he picked the right squad. The only player I would have potentially bought is...
Bought? Can't buy them, Chris.
The player I would have taken to Russia, Adam, was Adam Lallana, purely because he has a bit of a different skill set. Ability to unpick a defence. And that's it. What about you, Ryan?
I completely agree. I don't think Jack Wilshere or John Joe Shelvey done enough to warrant a place in the team. You think of Jack, I mean, he's got this aura about him, and people say he's the most creative midfielder we have. He doesn't get many assists. He doesn't score many goals. No. Whereas you look at Lingard, Sterling, Dele Alli, they've all scored double figures this year. So they're the kind of players you want in your team. I think Adam Lallana, fully fit one, would have gone to the World Cup, but he didn't play enough minutes. You know, you can't expect him to go there. We see it with Jack Wilshere a couple of years ago. He went to the Euros unfit, and you just don't do yourself justice because...
So you felt Jack Wilshere didn't do himself justice in the Euros, the last Euros?
No, I think it's very difficult, you know. He didn't play enough minutes. I think he played 170 minutes leading up to that Euros, and you can't expect a player to play that amount of minutes and go and perform on the biggest stage in the world. It's unfair to
The English have a weird hang-up about Wilshere, don't we?
It's similar now in this tournament because he didn't have much minutes going into this World Cup as well, but he seemed very disappointed himself personally that he wasn't going, but you weren't surprised because of the same reason he didn't have the minutes under his belt.
Well, he actually played a lot for Arsenal this season.
In the latter stages,
yeah. He did play a lot, but I just don't think his performances have warranted going to the World Cup with England. You know, he's obviously Arsenal have struggled a little bit this year, but what people expect of Jack Wilshere is to control games, to create things, and I personally I don't see it. I've not seen it for a very long time. You know, he's had a lot of injuries, and it's very difficult to come back from severe injuries. And I don't feel like his level of performance has been up there.
Do you think he'll get back into the England squad once he starts playing, or do you think the fact that there's a lot of younger, fitter players now in the England squad, it'll be very hard for him to regain his place?
It's going to be difficult. It's going to be very difficult because, like you say, the way England are playing at the moment, you want fluidity, you want pace, and Jack isn't that kind of player. He's probably better in a more relaxed... I mean, there's talk of him going Juventus or abroad, and that would probably suit Jack because he is a technical player. He's very good, and I think he needs to be in a team that...
Yeah, just playing as a 6 or something. I'm not...
Yeah, but his performances for Arsenal this season haven't stood out for
not
me.
At all.
They really haven't.
He had a period where I think he started 9 games in a row and he clocked up the most sort of minutes in that period for an Arsenal player, and everyone was like, OK, he might be back. Arsenal kind of picked up a little bit of form. But then it was a couple of injuries again, wasn't it? I think it's very telling the fact that Arsenal didn't want to offer him a new long-term contract. Like, they aren't... That's not the sort of campaign that gets you into a World Cup squad. I think Ryan's completely right. So
using that same logic, do you think players like Welbeck were quite fortunate to be in there, or do you think that he
finished strongly though, didn't he?
He looks at his international goal-scoring record and thinks, do you know what, he's a big asset.
I think the record, the kind of character, the personality he is...
And don't hit that, Maguire.
Like you say, he finished the season very well, and you know, he's an asset to have. You know, you can bring him on, and he can change a game. Yeah. He can change a game. He's proven that for Arsenal. He's proven that for England over the years, and he looks fit. He looks strong. You know, I look at Danny Welbeck now, and I see him as a very fit player, whereas I still don't think Jack is as fit as he was 6-7 years ago. Lallana, physically, he's not quite there. He's not had enough games.
Yeah.
So
if Lallana was fit, I'd have swapped the pair of them round, and I think that's how close it was. But Danny Welbeck, I think, finished with 10 goals in 46, 47 games, and he's not an out-and-out forward, is he? He plays wide, and yeah, I think he's got in by virtue of having a slightly different skill set to other strikers. But let's see who he brings in this game, because I can see him swapping out. I mean, Dele Alli's kind of faded in this second half, hasn't he? Maybe for a Rashford, but I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I think he should. I think now is probably the time to bring off Raheem Sterling, bring on Rashford, and maybe even bring off Jesse and bring on Vardy and go 2 up top, and then play 1 in behind them, because we're not really creating as many chances at the moment. You know, I think the first half, all our chances come from players running beyond Harry Kane, and they've stopped doing that now. Whereas if you do bring Vardy on, he's the kind of player that can stretch the game.
But do we start just pumping it to Vardy if he comes on?
I don't think so. He's not the kind of... He's not a target man, is he? You know,
But he likes that ball over the top, doesn't
he?
he?
But like you said earlier, Tunisia are defending deep, so that space in behind isn't as big. But if he can make those runs and maybe draw defenders out of their pockets, then that's what we need.
Oh, Harry Kane has gone down.
Especially if you're...
Slight worry here.
If you're exhausted. Who takes his free kick for England?
Well, Kieran Trippier is one of the best free kick takers I've seen.
Yeah?
Just unfortunate that he's got Christian Eriksen.
Yeah. There is a sub, and it is Raheem Sterling coming off. As you said, Ryan.
Rashford.
For Marcus Rashford. It's the exact sub that we thought. Interestingly, Hamill, 16-1 Sky Bet are offering now for Tunisia to win this game.
Ooh.
Tunisia to win the match.
It's a brave man that takes that bet.
With Sky Bet. Don't forget, full terms and conditions apply. You must be over 18 plus. But 16-1 you can get with Sky Bet. Tunisia only 1 goal, of course.
So, you know, with set pieces, I always think it's not beyond any footballer to be very good at a set piece if they stay after training and hit that day in, day out, right? So what is it about some professionals wherein do they just get sort of obsessed with becoming good at set pieces? What kind of characteristics do you have to stay after training and want to be good at set pieces, I guess?
Well, one, you have to have the ability.
Is it a bit natural then?
No, I feel like you can definitely work on it and get better, but Kieran Trippier's at Tottenham. Here he's taking a free kick now. Oh. Got it up and over the wall.
That's okay.
But he's got Christian Eriksen in front of him. Now, you know, he's not getting a look in against Christian because Christian's a specialist. I'm sure if Trippier was with another football club and was given that responsibility, then he would probably practice 5-10 minutes after training every day. It's just having that responsibility, you know, because every club has a specialist at set pieces.
But this is a right-back who's arrived from Burnley. I don't remember him taking many set pieces at Burnley. I might be wrong, but is he someone that does stay after training? Do he... Oh, my God.
Go Kane.
Oh, Harry. That's a good tackle.
They've been quite physical with Harry Kane, Ryan, haven't they? He's been down twice now. It's almost like they've targeted him from the first half.
Well, yeah, the referees let him get away with it. So
it really is, this referee.
Yeah.
But do you think... I think the England squad potentially needs a couple more set-piece specialists. I think that was pretty evident the last tournament when Harry Kane was taking corners, but Ashley Young's not bad, is he? So, I don't know.
So the sub has been made, Sterling's off, Rashford's on. How are people reacting to that, Temps?
People are very happy about that. I think a lot of people wanted to see Rashford come on, yeah. Hopefully it changes things, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, but yeah, a lot of people are happy about that.
Yeah, he's very good, actually, at Ellen Road in England's last friendly. England have a chance here, actually. Nice build-up play. What? Oh, go on. Oh, I don't know what happened there.
Do you think maybe Ruben Loftus-Cheek instead of Eric Dyer for someone?
He was good as well, actually, for England against Costa Rica. Ruben Loftus-Cheek had a good... His stats
had a bit of attacking impetus.
Yeah. He was very good, yeah. I mean, let's not forget, Jamie Vardy scored 20 goals in the Premier League. We're chasing the game. We're looking for a goal. There's 20 minutes to go. Get the striker on, you know. Get him in the box. We're seeing situations now where we're pinning Tunisia in the final third, and he's the kind of player I feel at the moment, on current form, you want him there with Harry, you know. 50 goals between them in the Premier League, get them both on the pitch together, because Tunisia aren't offering much of a threat going forward, and it's just about England staying concentrated and limiting them to any chances.
Who would you bring off now, then, for Jamie Vardy? You say you'd play him with Kane, so you'd change the formation slightly?
Yeah, well, me personally, I would... I'd probably bring off Jesse Lingard, and I would drop Delhi next to Jordan Henderson.
Okay.
And then play Rashford in behind Harry and Jamie Vardy.
Harry and Jamie, yeah.
I'd keep Jesse on. I think he's still been more active than Delhi in this.
It's strange, Chris, isn't it? We look at the game, and I know we said don't panic when Tunisia scored. Suddenly we find ourselves there's 19 minutes to go. It's getting. I'm getting quite nervous now that England aren't going to win this game. I don't know whether it's just expectation of what's happened in other tournaments. We've absolutely dominated this game. How it's 1-0, I do not know, but there's not long left now. I feel like he's made that one change, but England need to do more. They've played a lot better in the first half than they're doing now, certainly.
I think a lot of this tournament will be about. I think it should be as much about performance as it is about result. Come on.
Do you though, Chris? Really? Because at the end of the day, it is all about results, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
To get out of the group. Well, we could play great football if we lose 3 games.
That's obvious, right? So if we play well in 3 games and lose 3 games, then obviously that doesn't necessarily hold true. But given the calibre of team that we're facing, that's highly unlikely to be the case, isn't it? But I do. If we got to a quarter-final and played really well against the top side, last 16 game, I mean, I said earlier, would face Poland or Colombia, and you'd hope to beat one of those. But I think as long as we build a foundation for the next tournament, I don't think there will be the same vitriol. You know, should we?
So it's progression for you.
Should we crash out? Yeah, absolutely. Let's not get carried away. Like it's one of the youngest squads at the tournament, and like you said, there's a severe lack of goals there. But yeah, let's just see some promise.
Tunisia making a sub now. They're very much slowing the game down. The classic walk-off from Tunisia. They're not going to waste any time. They are going to waste as much time as possible, I mean to say. The slowest walk, Hammer, we've seen, isn't it, so far in the tournament?
Yeah.
Running the clock down.
Adam Templeman down the right wing for FDFC.
That is it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming.
And Tunisia doing everything they can. Game management, Ryan, again, going back to what you're saying. That England haven't had. Interesting gilet that... Tim Sherwood-esque gilet that the Tunisian gaffer's rocking, isn't it?
Were you a fan of the gilet?
Yeah, I like a gilet. I think very smart.
He loved the gilet, Sherwood, didn't he? It's all he ever wore.
Yeah, it was his thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, you got Lambert with the old old school jumper with a collar up and that.
Tony Pulis with the white trainers, And now, bizarrely, the goalkeeper is juggling. Temps, what are people saying on social media? Any subs that they want to see?
Vardy.
Still
a lot
Vardy?
Of people are saying Vardy, yeah. Obviously, they just want us to go
because of Ryan.
Attack.
Set them all off.
But no one's saying who we should take off for Vardy. That's the problem. We still want to know. No one's saying. So we'll see.
You can't play all of them. You can't play Vardy, Welbeck, Kane. There's got to be some balance. Rashford's on as well. It is all England. Tunisia have got every man behind the ball. The pace of the game, I feel, has just slowed slightly, and Tunisia are wasting time where they can. It goes back to the game management. It is all England. The possession stats must be frighteningly in favour of England at the minute. But it is still 1-1. We're getting into 15 minutes left. England need to score a goal.
It's getting a little bit more...
Badly need to score a goal.
It's getting a little bit more desperate. That's what's a little bit disheartening to see.
Yeah.
We've tried quite a few speculative long balls there, haven't we?
Especially after the Belgium result. You suddenly look at this, we draw this, then it's must-win 2 games to win the group.
It's not a foregone conclusion, Belgium, against this Tunisia side.
You don't think, Chris?
No, they've just got a bit more nous, haven't they? And I think Belgium, I saw it a couple of times in the Panama game, not, defensively, not frail, that's maybe a little bit over the top, but they play a high-risk system as well, so... listen, a point isn't disastrous, it's just disappointing, isn't it, lads? It's just not...
I'll be devastated with the point, I'm not going to lie.
I'll be gutted, absolutely gutted.
And also for the players, Ryan, you must have played in a lot of games where you've dominated and not got the win. It's great when the manager comes out, and no doubt if it's 1-0, Southgate will come out and say this is the performance that matters, as you said, Chris, but for a player, they'd be devastated if they didn't win this game,
not for me. I think performances, I mean, it's nice to see England play well, but I want England to play bad and win. We're at a major tournament, We
were definitely playing bad before.
Yeah, but we weren't winning. That was we were playing bad and losing. The problem, that's why England haven't gone far, because we've not been able to play bad and win games. You look at
the Man United, the 1-0 to Man United.
Yeah, you look at Portugal, who won the Euros, and they were appalling for half the tournament. But
I was at 3 of those games. I to this day cannot believe Portugal won that tournament. They finished 3rd, so in the old format wouldn't have even qualified. Won 2 games in extra time and 1 on a penalty shootout. Incredible how they won that. But like you said, Portuguese fans won't care because they won the tournament.
That's what you need to do to win major competitions at times. I look at Manchester United the other year against Ajax in the cup final in the European competition. They probably had 30% of possession, but they won the game.
Chelsea against Bayern Munich as well in the Champions League final.
That is all you.
But there's also an air of, like.
What is improvement, though? You know, I think any manager can go in and say, let's go and play nice football. We'll play out from the back. We'll do this, but. Ultimately, you play football games to win. Yeah, you have to win.
But I think that's kind of hampered us beforehand, and that's why sometimes... Listen, I agree to an extent, but sometimes managers have felt the need to try and include every top player because they see that's heightening their chances of winning, when if we keep adopting this kind of short-term approach and desperately trying to chase wins rather than lay a foundation, bring down the average age, that to me is progress. Like, have players in the squad that we can see playing in Qatar, in the next Euros. Germany had a 15-year progress. Like, you have to be quite studious. It's this, you have to have like a patient approach, more of a methodic approach.
I completely agree.
And I think that is starting to happen. Don't get me wrong.
I completely agree with you in terms of laying the foundations for a philosophy.
Ref, free kick or a penalty, ref. What is it? What's the ref doing here?
Free kick.
In terms of laying the foundations for a philosophy, bringing young players through, I think it's brilliant. We can see it since last year, since Southgate's come in. That has happened, but. All I'm saying is what I would like to see more is a little bit more...
Ruthlessness, you said that before.
Ruthlessness. Not to be so naive, because...
But do you think that'll come when they get... You know, this is all experience.
But the Iceland game at the Euros, we had all the possession and we were naive, so we lost the game. I just want England to learn from those mistakes, you know, and...
But that comes with a continuity off the pitch as well, doesn't it? And that'd be progress for me as well. Germany, you know, the coach has taken to at least 5 semi-finals. Spain have these... You know, these principles, these pillars, this way of playing that ensures continuity. England don't have that because we're going from, you know, let's force these top players into this side. We're going from manager to manager, scrambling around for a win, trying to placate the press, trying to placate fans.
It's a big chance.
He did it against...
Why isn't Trips on this?
This is a big chance. This is interesting, Ryan. Trips has taken every free kick. Now we're in a shooting range. Young's got this. And this is a great range.
Yeah.
Why do you think he's been giving Young this, or Young has said he wants this, or...?
Listen, he's a more experienced head. He's older, and Trips had the last one, didn't he? So,
it works like that, does it? Yeah. You miss, I'll have the next one.
Unless you're Ronaldo or Messi, then it does work
Neymar,
like that.
It took like 15 last night.
There's an interesting little scuffle going on now in the wall. They've been quite physical, these Tunisian players, particularly on Harry Kane and some of the attacking players, and the ref's just putting it back. This is a great shooting range for Ashley Young.
It is.
And here we go with the free kick.
Oh, absolutely fluff.
Come on, England, we need this goal.
Ashley, come on.
Too much height on that. Surprised a bit for that side, actually. I thought he'd bend it round to the far corner. So Trips is on the next one. And we see the England fans, the despair in the England fans in the crowd. They want this goal badly. Temps, you look really upset. You haven't said anything in about 40 minutes, Temps. You're all right.
So engrossed
You're
in this
really
game.
engrossed in it, aren't you? Come on, talk to us. Are you happy? Do you
yes, Ruben. Come on.
Right, Ruben Loftus-Cheek is coming on. Ryan, what are your thoughts on this sub? Because there'll be a lot of people saying it's for Dele Alli. It's an interesting one, isn't it? When you've got the likes of Vardy on the bench.
It is interesting. It's very interesting. You know, I understand why Gareth's done it to a certain extent, because Tunisia are playing so deep. Ruben's the kind of player that can get the ball in a half turn and produce a little bit of brilliance to make something happen. But for me, I just think you've got a goal scorer who scored 20 goals in the Premier League sitting on the bench, and
he won't be happy, will he?
No,
right now he will not be happy.
No, and
Ruben Loftus-Cheek is a gorgeous guy, though, isn't he?
That would be difficult to take.
What an absolute piece.
So, just to recap for those of you, not that there's anyone that doesn't know what's going on. There's 10 minutes to go now. These 10-minute periods seem to be flying by. England with dominating the game, one of the best first halves we've seen, find themselves 1-1. 2 penalty claims not even looked at by VAR from the referee, which we're still fuming about. A penalty given from Tunisia, their only shot on target in the first half. Belgium winning their earlier game 3-0. This is a big 10 minutes for England's World Cup. It might be a silly thing to say because it's only the first game. But this is a huge 10 minutes for England, this World Cup. Tunisia still... Hamill, 1 shot in the whole game, which was a penalty, which went in.
We thought they'd muddy it up, didn't we? And they have. And now, you know, I wanted Ruben Loftus-Cheek on. He's come on.
1 shot on target.
Ryan wanted Rashford on. He's on. So let's see, you know, if
what are people saying,
if our decisions pay off.
I want to know why Harry Kane is not taking the free kicks as well.
I was
like from shooting range.
I've not seen him score an awful lot of free kicks.
And a lot of people are saying that Ashley Young's having a bad game. Yeah.
Is he having a bad game?
A lot of people are saying it. I
thought his delivery first half was fine. Like the fullbacks.
By the way, Harry Maguire, he didn't want one there, but he's won a lot in the air, isn't he?
Mate, he's an absolute monster, isn't he?
He's a big lad, isn't he?
I think it's getting a bit predictable now. Every set piece, we're literally trying to hit his head, and Tunisia have kind of clocked onto that, and they're putting 2 on him, aren't they?
It'll be a massive result for Tunisia if they can hold out and draw to England 1-0 in the opening group game. As we said earlier, England don't have the best record in opening games at World Cups.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Did you see, Sebs, what game was it where the guy, was it Iran, when he's taken the throw-in from...
Oh, and he does a little one.
And
that was great. That was actually great.
There's the gilet. There is the gilet.
There he is, the Tunisian... What's his name?
Here we go, total passes. 431 England to 305 Tunisia. Pass actually 90% to 80% Tunisia. I mean, England dominating all the stats, except for the one that matters, which is the scoreline, remains 1-0. And now Tunisia on the ball. And it just feels like, Ryan, even the atmosphere seems flatter, it seems quieter, the game seems slower. It's sort of stalling a bit, this game, isn't it, compared to where we were in the first half?
Yeah, I think physically England put so much into that first half. It would have been difficult to maintain that level of intensity throughout the 90 minutes. It's just a shame that we weren't 2 or 3-0 up going into half-time.
Which we should have been.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, Rashford's looked lively. Rashford's looked lively since he's come on. And he's won a corner. Big chance for England. There's only 8 minutes left, plus injury time, of course. Ashley Young is over the corner.
Come on then, Ashley.
Come on, England.
Rashford, he has a little bit of extra swag when he plays for England. I think he...
Big chance for England. Now, the referee has to be looking at the physicality here after the last 2. Oh!
Come on, back him.
What's happened here?
What's happened here?
Free kick.
Oh, there's a clash.
Their second keeper is down now, Ryan, which will be interesting to see.
Oh, well, I think this one's definitely got a bit of game
looks like it's got... Yeah. This is Stones on their keeper.
He's hurt his elbow on Stones' temple.
Yeah, and he's fallen quite awkwardly. Now, this will be interesting to see what happens if this keeper either requires treatment or needs to go off, because, of course, Tunisia's #1, who hasn't got #1 on his shirt, as Hamill quite rightly pointed out, is already off. And the keeper is down. Doesn't look happy.
Close.
He does not look happy. Temps, what are people saying on the social?
I'm going to have a look now.
Classic game management. More time is being wasted.
Is it being wasted or is he actually injured this time? Yeah, I think you're right.
Ryan, were you playing in the famous game when Harry Kane went in goal?
No, I wasn't.
What are you laughing?
I was sitting at home watching it, and I was laughing because Harry's always been having himself as a keeper.
Right, and he's not.
So it was absolutely... I thought it was comedy gold when he went in goal and he'd scored a hat-trick. So he had Hugo's shirt on, scored a hat-trick. He had the captain's armband on. Yeah. And he let an absolute sitter in, didn't he, for the free kick.
Did the boys give him a bit of
he got battered, yeah, he got battered.
Did he fancy himself as a keeper then? Is that why?
Yeah, that's why it was so funny, because he's always kind of guy after training, he'd go in goal and try and pull off a few saves and that. So it was brilliant to watch him mess up, to be honest.
I love the fact you're happy that you messed up. It's brilliant.
What qualities does he have that make him a good captain? Because he's quite low-key in the media, isn't he? So, like, you knowing him personally, what makes him a good captain? What makes him the right choice?
I think his belief. You know, obviously he's a top player. I think you look at Ronaldo, Messi, they lead by example in terms of their performances on the pitch. And I think Gerrard always seemed that kind of player. His performances and the way he went about playing, it would bring others up a level. And I think Harry is the world-class player in the England side. And I think his level of performance hopefully will bring others around him up a level.
OK, so just that leading by example, that obsessiveness.
Do you know what's interesting as well is that a lot of people say that it shouldn't be given to a striker. People have like a prerequisite of what a captain should be, and everyone says it should be a centre-back or someone in the middle of the park. Surely it's got to be the best man for the job, and Southgate thinks it's Harry Kane, so it should be irrelevant what position he plays.
How important do you think it is, and do we blow it up as well?
What, being a captain?
Yeah.
I think if you're a good captain, it's massively important. You know, I've played under Michael Dawson, for example, and what a captain.
Really?
What a leader. It's not just the responsibility you have on the football pitch, it's off the pitch, it's absolutely everything around the training ground, and you have to lead by example 24/7, and Harry is that kind of guy, you know. He's a superstar, you never see him in the media, messing around, having a drink. You never see anything like that. So to be an England captain, you have to do everything right. So that's why I feel like he fits the bill.
Right, big chance for England. Suddenly, these minutes are ticking down, Hamill. 4 minutes to go. Tripp whips the ball in, and it is cleared again. England need this goal. Badly need another goal. Suddenly, we find ourselves 1-1. Completely dominant in this first half. Hamill, will England win this game? What are your thoughts?
I mean, it's looking increasingly less likely.
As the game goes on.
Just because of how, I mean, at least when, did Kasri just come off?
Yes, he did. He did,
I mean, at least when Kasri was on, they were committing 2 men up the pitch, and now it pretty much looks like no men.
No, it's none, every man is behind the ball. Obviously, Tunisia on the attack slightly now.
I mean, that's look how high England's line is. There's a good indication of how, how much...
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point, that there's an offside decision that has been awarded against Tunisia, and they are a yard into England's half, which suggests how many people... How many people are behind the ball for Tunisia. They are just taking this point all day long, and it looks more and more likely that they're going to get it as well.
I like your point about Dawson before. Like, who...
Lovely pass, England chance.
Yes, Ruben.
Oh, why are you letting that through your legs? Oh, it's a big chance. Another chance goes begging for England. Ball across the box.
How intricate do we want to be in the box?
Is this a worry, Ryan, going forward? It's not being clinical. If England are not clinical against teams like this, does this concern you going forward?
No, not really. I think we've seen Argentina. They've got Messi in their side, and they found it very difficult to break down Iceland. Playing against 10 behind the ball is not easy for any team. If a team's organised, then it's difficult. You just need moments of brilliance to open them up, and we've not had that in the second half, whereas the first half, we did have that.
Speaking of Messi, Temps, you got a question from social?
Yes.
You're just referring to Temps as Messi, then? The Messi of social?
Definitely not. Go on, mate.
Does his legacy depend on a World Cup win for Argentina about Lionel Messi?
Ryan, what are your thoughts?
I think if Ronaldo outshines him in this World Cup, I honestly believe that Cristiano will be seen as the greatest ever.
Oh, right.
I really do.
That's a hot take.
Wow.
That's a hot take, isn't it?
Drop mic. Going for another week.
Instantly, we are now in the 88th minute. England are 4-1.
Nice,
Sky Bet to win
Ruben.
this game. Have to get that on very quickly. Don't forget, you've got to be 18 plus. And terms and conditions apply. As England have a chance.
It went out.
4-1 England are to win this game with Sky Bet.
Fair play for getting that out.
Full terms and conditions apply. Have to be 18 or older. But time is running out. And it's just the body language as well, Chris. It's like England know that time is running out.
I think Loftus-Cheek has been positive since he's come on.
Why has he left that?
He's obviously got a shout.
Yeah.
Surely Lingard said to him to leave it.
Look how...
Yeah, because he looks dejected,
Why did he...
He's fume boat.
Fume boat. No, I think England... I don't know. I think the atmosphere, maybe we're a little bit forlorn. But
wow, Tunisia have actually got a...
But the fans aren't. I mean, the players aren't.
Well played, Carl.
Well done.
Rapid there from Carl Walker.
Hello.
Cheeky little nutmeg from Trips. Carl Walker, Spurs to Man City, 2 cups in his first year. What did you make of that move, Ryan?
Justified.
Yeah.
He's won 2 trophies. You can't argue, he left to win trophies and he's won trophies, so...
Were you surprised for the fee that he commanded? 50 mil at the time? I know it's a little bit silly now, but...
I think when you look at the transfer since, you could say Man City have got an absolute, I wouldn't say bargain, but they've got a really good deal, because 50 million for one of the best right-backs in the Premier League is good money. I'm sure now, if they were to buy him, it'd probably be 70, 80 million.
Where does he rank for you in terms of right-backs in world football?
World football, I'm not sure about world football, but I think in the Premier League, he's definitely in the top 2, I think Valencia on his day is top as well. Azpilicueta, he's very solid, but he plays in a back 3 now. So,
right, it is 4 minutes to be added on. 4 minutes of added time for England to get this win, this first win in the World Cup game.
It's going in.
Come on.
I've called it.
Come on, England.
We'll be clipping this out. Come on.
This is a big moment in the game. Another corner. Trips over it, is it? Is it Trippier? Yeah. It's a good delivery.
Go on, H.
Yes! Harry Kane again! Harry Kane has scored in the 90th minute as England go 2-1 up. What a moment this could be for England's World Cup campaign. 1-1 going into injury time. Harry Kane again.
Mate.
The golden boot is on. England are going to win the World Cup.
I almost volleyed those jelly beans clean across the studio then.
Hamill, talk us through this goal, mate.
Well, I only got a bloody called it, mate. Great delivery from Trips. Who's won that? Is that
Maguire?
Is that Maguire again?
It was,
fantastic aerial prowess. Oh, mate.
Ryan, Spurs perspective with your Spurs hat on. Trippier with the ball in his flick on.
Brilliant.
Harry Kane again.
Brilliant. Listen, you give
Maguire again with the flick on as another one of your former teammates. Yeah.
You give Harry Kane chances and he will put them away. You know that Euros 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He didn't get one clear-cut chance. You know you've seen him tonight. 2 chances, 2 goals, clinical, world class. Absolutely buzzing.
And meanwhile, Chris, stop the press because this is how the Tunisian restaurant reacted.
Come on, England!
Yes. No less than we deserve, either. No less than we deserve. There's your boy, Eric.
Right, if you're a Tunisian fan, you're sat in that bar, how annoyed would you be with Joe right then?
Oh, devastated. I think I'd maybe start swinging for it. Can I
just say, chat to Ryan off camera, what I love about Ryan, not only ex-England international, of course, but proper England fan as well. You tell us your story about watching the last England World Cup campaign.
Yeah, it was opener against Italy. I think everyone remembers Raheem Sterling. His infamous goal where
the whole world thought it went in, it hit the side netting.
I'd literally just been to the bar and I bought a pint and I had a plastic cup.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'd see the strike. I thought it was in, so I've jumped up and threw my pint everywhere over everyone, going mad. And then, like 20 seconds later, I realised it hadn't gone in, so I had to go back to the bar and buy another pint.
Pochettino loved him for his cool head, and there he is, bang.
Obviously, we don't condone throwing of any alcoholic beverages at that point, so... that was one of the strangest goals, actually, because it's the only goal I can ever remember where everyone I've spoken to thought that... Because I thought it was just me in the pub that I was in.
How un-England is this?
Thought that it had gone in. It hadn't. Absolute dejection on the Tunisian bench.
There he is, Tunisian.
I do not feel sorry for them at all. Harry Kane, surely man of the match, 2 goals, Captain Marvel, picking up where he left off in the Premier League.
Oh, man, I'm absolutely buzzing. Where are we going after this, Ryan? Why is everyone laughing? Mental.
It completely changes it. This changed the mentality completely.
The mindset, everything. Listen, England beat Panama and then you're through to the next stage of the World Cup.
What a statement from Harry Kane, though.
Yeah. Harry Kane has arrived. Harry Kane is a Golden Boot contender, surely. Playing Panama next as well, if we start the way we did.
Ballon d'Or contender, Smithy. Come on.
England are going to win the World Cup. We're going to win it all. Right, just to confirm, we are seconds away. Surely this is a victory for England. We are into the 93rd minute, 58, 93rd, 59, 94th minute. There's 4 minutes of injury time.
What a difference this is going to make tomorrow.
I know, yeah.
There it is. That is the full-time whistle. England have won their first group game. England have won their first group game. Brian, who's your man of the match, mate?
Has to be Harry. It really does. Listen, he's produced again, 2 chances, 2 goals. Last minute, absolutely brilliant. Clinical. He's my favourite. Absolutely quality.
I love that as well. Gareth Southgate hugging Dele Alli. Dele Alli looked disappointed when he came off, which again I love to see. Love to see that. Players wanting to play. Tunisian players look absolutely dejected. The England fans are everywhere in the stadium. St George's flags everywhere, going absolutely crazy. They know that they've sort of got out of jail a bit, haven't they? Although they played well. It's a big difference to that goal going into their campaign.
It just changes everything. Mentally, it changes everything. You know, you fully expect England to beat Panama in their next game, and then you're through to the next stage. You know, for once we're going into a second game in the World Cup without pressure on our back. You know, we should win that game. We should go there fully confident of winning it. And off the back of today's performance, they should.
And hopefully we see the best from England against Belgium, right? If they beat Panama, it takes the pressure off. Let's see what they're really about, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it will be a game of just seeing who can top the group, you know. I'm fully confident that even if England don't top the group, they can beat anyone. They
Belgium
really
versus Tunisia, how do you see that one going? Do you think Belgium will win that comfortably, Hamill?
I mean, they've got the players to unpick that plucky defence, haven't they? You're looking at KDB, Dries Mertens. So I think it'll be tight like this. I think it'll be tight, don't get me wrong. Tunisia are going to be a little bit dejected, aren't they? Probably a good time to play them following England. But no, that's massive for England.
Look at the fans going absolutely crazy there. England fans will party right into the night. It's always the way. Every England game I've ever been to abroad here, they dominate. The fans dominate. There's always, remember the England-Iceland game, it was like 90% England fans. Same again. It just seems there's so many England fans than Tunisian fans going absolutely crazy. Tunisian players look absolutely devastated. We can see the table now. This is the live table, Group G. Belgium, of course, on top with their goal difference. England, second place. Tunisia and Panama with nothing. Goal difference, is that a slight worry, Ryan? If Belgium and England do draw, which could quite happen, are you concerned about that, or is that immaterial at this stage?
Yeah, no, it doesn't really matter. I think today was just about getting the 3 points and... listen, if England go 1 or 2 up against Panama early on, then you can start thinking about goal difference. But the main thing was to win our opening 2 games and qualify from the group, and we're in a good position to do that now.
Job done.
Harry Kane could batter Panama.
Panama and Tunisia, do they have any hope of qualifying out this group, do you think, Chris?
I mean, what? This is Panama's first... I know they were close in 2014, but their first ever World Cup. Tunisia never won a World Cup game, so... They are effectively making up the numbers. I'm sure they won't feel like that. Yeah. But nice just to deliver what is expected of an England side. And he didn't panic, stuck to his system, didn't he? Made sensible substitutions.
Yeah, we've got the well done all round. 60% possession. That surprised me, actually. I thought that'd be a lot higher to England, but they did dominate possession, dominated shots on target, absolutely everything. They're just recapping the group now. And Ron, what we were saying earlier as well, looking at all the teams that have played, England have done all right there in terms of their performance, as we said.
Yeah, I thought that was impressive. Very, very impressive. The first half, I thought that was absolutely outstanding and should have been 2 or 3-0 up. They created plenty of chances, and it's really good to see this England side keep going until the end and nick one late on, because it would have been difficult. It probably would have been easier to feel sorry for yourselves, take the draw after 70 minutes and not take any risks, but they kept going and they fully deserved that win. And
interestingly, England are 11-10 with our mates at Sky Bet to win the group, to win Group G. England are 11-10. Don't forget, you've got to be 18 plus. Full terms and conditions apply. Right, let's catch up with Joe, who is at the packed Tunisian bar. Probably the most unpopular man in the bar right now. Joe, how's it going, mate?
So there we have it. England have just won 2-1 thanks to a last-minute Harry Kane winner. Come on! Yay! Francis, how are you feeling?
I'm delighted. Tunisia had a shaky start. They came back, and then I was a little bit worried about the England team. But hey, we won, and that's the result that counts.
We won 3 points. That's all that matters. Abdul, you changed shirt about 3 times. I've seen him in an England shirt, then a Tunisia shirt. What happened?
Now, Tunisian out. I am England supporter and the end.
Abdul suddenly turned back into an England supporter. He was absolutely rocking in this place. What are your hopes going forward now? Can England win the World Cup?
I reckon that England have got a chance to win the World Cup, and that would be absolutely fantastic.
What about you, Abdul? Can England win it?
I am sure what I saw with the Germany, with the Brazil, with the France, England, they can now.
Come on, England! What a win! Get in there, Harry Kane!
It's amazing, because that bar seems like there's people actually having a sit-down meal as well in the background, just oblivious to all that's going on. Temps, finally, fill us in with social media. What are people talking about?
Social media.
What is trending on Twitter right now? Are we trending on Twitter?
We are not trending on Twitter. Why do you have to say that? Harry Kane is trending on Twitter. Everyone's just, Harry Kane, the Messiah. People are putting him on Jesus' body. Just England are going to win the World Cup, everyone keeps saying.
And do you think England can win the World Cup,
Of course we can. Of course we can.
Seems like a lovely bloke as well.
Otherwise, what's the point? If you don't believe, what's the point?
If you don't, we're just watching Harry Kane now. He's doing his post-match interview, smiling. It's interesting, his body language here, Ron, because he does so many post-match interviews for Spurs where he's expected to score, and he's very much business as usual, yet he looks... he's beaming, smile is beaming all over his face. It looks like he needed this for England.
He's just captained his country at the World Cup.
Yeah, not bad, is it?
He scored 2 goals and a last-minute winner. How can you not be smiling?
Yeah.
That's what you dream of as a kid, and... I think there was pressure on Harry to score goals. There's pressure on him to be captain. And listen, anyone that doubted him being captain in this World Cup, he's just well and truly shut them all up, because Absolutely brilliant.
It's like another hoodoo lifted, isn't it? We've not had anyone since Michael Owen who's been prolific in finals, and that's hung over the team. It hung over Wayne Rooney and his 1 goal, 2 goals, whatever. But Harry Kane just done it in 1 game. Perfect.
So, thank you so much for everyone for joining us. What a game. We are finally happy because we managed to score at the last minute. Thanks for joining us on the Football Social. Don't forget, keep the comments coming in. We will be back for the next game, England against Panama on Sunday. We'll see you soon. Come on, England.
Come on.
Spark your sports brain. Go global with Sky Bet.